Good evening, everybody. We are back to Boyfriend Dungeon today. Uh, there's two things I need to do. One, I need to make sure that the stream is up and running, which it is. We've got quality options and overall good feelings. And then number two, while I load the game, as you can hear from my scratchy throat and clearing, I could actually really deal with some fluids. So I'm going to get a glass of water. And one of the reasons I feel okay doing that early on is because this soundtrack is awesome. So please enjoy, and I will be back in a couple moments. I think I'm going to go for some tea as well, but that will come up later. So, I am actually kind of fond of this game. So much so that I had this really tough, dilemma where I kind of wanted to play some more of it. Like, I'll have it on Xbox Game Pass as well, although I think the save is shared. But, you know, I did it on stream, and it would be nice to continue it on stream. And then more importantly, Kid Fox Games was actually kind enough to give me a key for this game. And I actually tend to feel quite bad if I just do like one stream of a given game. Unfortunately, on this one, it kind of got caught on the horns of a few... I mean, this happens a couple times, where a game will come out, but then a bunch of updates to things that I regularly cover also come out. And I wind up, trying to juggle everything. So I quite like Boyfriend Dungeon, and I remember it reasonably well. I don't think we're going to have too many problems getting back into the main game. But for those of you wondering what was going on with that, this is my chance to make up for my truancy. And it was actually particularly cool because there was I believe the animator stopped by, and it was really fun to sort of have some exchanges about the different motivations of the characters and sort of what my feeling on it was, and they offered some interesting perspective, which gave me another way to think about it. So I don't know, I'm really looking forward to this. I know the funny thing is that this actually wasn't, like, by any other measure. Like, there's a few ways that I kind of infer whether or not people like it when I'm doing something like this. I'm not gonna lie, like, this is actually one of those ones where I got a bit of a signal that people didn't care that much for this game, viewing-wise. I think part of it might be, like, this is a very different style and tone from what I normally do. And I also think that maybe some of the conversations that come up are the sorts of things that maybe people either don't want to hear from me about or just don't want to hear in general. Like, I'm not going to lie. Nobody needs to hear my thoughts on, dating or relationships or anything like that. So it does also raise a question, to a certain extent, when you're given a key from a developer, you want to respect what they've done. You don't want to take it for granted. You want to do a good job of showing it. But on the other hand, sometimes the right decision is why continue streaming something when all it's going to do is, like, make people mad. Like, if I don't play a game well, there's a game actually that I've been given a key for, and I never wound up streaming because I genuinely did not enjoy the game. I thought I'd like it. I really appreciated that they gave it to me. If I could give the key back, I would. They never asked for it back, but it was a game I really, really did not like. The good news is it's a super successful game, so I don't need to feel too bad about it. But there's a couple things. So number one, I had a really great time playing it last time, and I really enjoyed the discussions that came up. So even if it's not necessarily a crowd pleaser writ large, I liked the experience of going through it, and I liked what people shared in chat. And then more importantly too, like Kit Fox is a Canadian studio. I think this is an interesting idea for a game, and I really like that they clearly found their audience for it, and that this game definitely met with quite a bit of success on release. So I don't know. This is, I get by this point people will have left if they didn't care for Boyfriend Dungeon. But in a little way, this is actually one of my more selfish streams where it's for me. And for those of you who are new to Boyfriend Dungeon, even if this is something you turn off, I encourage you to stick around. Like, not even just for the view or something like that, but I think there's some interesting stuff going on in this game, and I really like what Kit Fox has done. So, although again, like I'm almost sounding defensive on this start. That's not actually quite how I wanted to, to handle that. Oh, I got tea boiling. I will be back in just a moment. All right. My apologies for the scrambled start. I think, as I mentioned, whenever I know I'm going to be a little bit later, I tend to make mistakes in terms of setting up for the broadcast. So that should be my last. That should be my last, departure for a little bit. Okay, let's see what's going on the phone. Quite a few people. So I was trying to think about whether or not I should do any kinds of recaps for the broadcast. And I think what I'd probably do is share, like, if I think there's something relevant. So, oh, this is the guy I met at the barbecue. Oh, last we saw Sunder, he was a vampire. Little things like that are probably the best way for me to handle it, because otherwise I'm going to be recapping all of the stuff that's really not that important. Or maybe not, maybe it's important, but, I take too long to explain it. And it'd be nice to just kind of jump back into the game. So let's see what Jonah has to say. But I just remembered I'm out of town for the rest of the summer. Seriously? Yeah, sorry. Maybe we can connect again someday. If you ever come back to town in fall, maybe I can show you some surfing spots on the island. What island? Vrona Island. The ferry is under repairs right now, though. The ferry is under repairs right now, though. Oh, well. I hope your summer in VB is the best. Thanks. I think we'll meet again somehow, sooner than we think. Is that a promise? I know there was a character they had to cut for, like, to sort of meet... I don't know if it was meeting a deadline or if it was just sort of handling the overall workload for the team under sort of pandemic conditions. So I can't remember which character it is. So this might actually be the way that they're letting people down gently on one of the characters not being available on release. Where is it? Are you okay? Oh yeah. Yeah, there we go. Are you okay, sweetie? I'm fine. I'm sure you can handle it, but maybe I can help. What's wrong? With a boyfriend, I mean. But I don't have a boyfriend yet. I think he's lying to me. Not to my baby, he's not. You don't talk to that person anymore. You deserve better. Manipulative people are bad company. I know it's easier said than done, but take care of yourself. Good luck out there, sweetie. Thanks. It's a bit embarrassing, but the party is hosted by Slicer. Oh, hang on. So there might be some other... I'm just going to go back to... Okay, so Jonah... Yeah, that's fine. Mom... Yeah, I just said he's worried about one of your boyfriends. Wouldn't tell me why, though. Okay. Maybe that's not so bad. Oh, that's interesting. They don't let me jump back up. Anyways, I think it starts here. The company I invested in is hosting thank you party. It's a bit embarrassing, but the party is hosted by Slicer, the dating app for weapons. Will there be monsters? No. We weapons can do more than fight monsters, you know. Would you do me the honor of being my date? As a friend? Understood. I could really use a friend right now. It's in the Verona Hotel Ballroom. See you there? It's almost time to leave to meet Isaac at his investor party. You realize you aren't sure what to wear to an investor's party. Nothing I own is good enough. This is true for me, by the way. You agonize over your closet, putting on random fancy clothes. See, this is where I break with myself. I can understand the coffee beans in my room. You know, I can relate to a lot of this. If I could get a Moon Hunters poster, I'd totally be putting one on my wall. But I don't have fancy clothes. You wonder, what if you're overdressed? What if you look ridiculous? You change clothes a few times until it's too late. There's no time. Finally, you put the first outfit back on and run out the door. The lobby looks packed with an unusual crowd of young software types. The entry is blocked. Private event tonight. Are you on the list?
Well, hello.
He's with Brooks Associates. Alfred knows everyone, huh? Isaac squeezes your hand as he leads you to the party. I love your jacket. I must get your tailor's number. Thanks for coming. Your support means so much to me. All this is for you? Me and the other investors and employees. I hope my father makes it. I told him this gala was for his favorite charity. Where is he? A familiar face approaches with a smirk. I see Slicer invited true VIPs. Alfred, is this weapon your date? Oh, that's right. I forgot that I named my character Alfred. It's more than just a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
He sure is. Deep pockets, too. Fine catch of a sword. I'm standing right here. You sure are. Good job, you. Everyone loves a sharp-dressed man, Now, if you'll excuse me, I see a platter of ship puffs with my name on it. How does that ass know you anyway? It's my first date.
Oh?
Oh my. So there's more to this story.
Isaac?
Isaac, what is this hellscape? The whiskeys all have multiple malts. Good evening, Father. Can we have a calm, civil conversation? This is most certainly not the foundation for dogs attending Harvard. You told me Dr. Muffin III would be here. Well, some of those people have dogs, I'm sure. These people's dogs haven't even graduated high school. What if I'm... sorry, this is Winston. These people's dogs haven't even graduated high school. What have I seen? Someone taps the microphone and the music is turned off. No, don't turn it off. A Slicer executive takes the stage and starts talking about profit in sword smooching. Also, profit in sword smooching, also known as the Kit Fox story. Vincent marches out the door. The Slicer executive starts listing all the hardship they overcame and thanking their investors. This game is for romantic people. I have plans for the romance. How you doing, Night Valian? For those of you who don't know him, I actually found Night Valian through through a previous Kitfox game, Lucifer Within Us, which I think we both quite enjoyed. And I'd recommend, actually, Halloween's coming up, so I think Lucifer Within Us has a really cool atmosphere. And it's one that's sort of easy to overlook because the game is quite short. It has three major cases inside of it. But for me, like, it was something I really liked the way it did investigation. And I think there are not a lot of games that cover that niche. So even though it may be, it may be something that, I'll put it to you this way. I have some sympathy for people's disappointment that it is relatively short. I think maybe it was I don't want to say backlash, but the criticism of it was sort of overdone because I don't think it was ever sold as being anything but. In fact, I can remember specific communication being that the game was a shorter game. I'll be honest with you, I think, especially at a time where a lot of games are really overstaying their welcome, I'm not necessarily going to say it's a good thing that Lucifer Within Us is a shorter game, but I definitely left wanting more of that game. And I think that is actually a better note to leave on than like, good Lord, can we finally finish this thing? And, it's a matter of taste, but if you're looking for a game to maybe give a second look at or something a little more appropriate for the season, I think Lucifer Within Us is something that you really should maybe try and take a look and see if it's for you. But one way or the other, Nightvalien 28 is a Brazilian streamer, somebody who's usually on a little bit later than me, although clearly tonight I'm streaming about an hour later than I normally do. That was kind of announced on Twitter ahead of time, so I'm not apologizing for a lateness on that one. That was I'm actually earlier compared to where I announced what it was, but with that in mind, I mean, he's later than my normal time, and so usually a wonderful host for the evening. He plays a lot of independent games. So he's played He's played Outer Wilds, as well as the DLC for that. He's played a few older games like it's Dragon's Breath 2, right? I'm really terrible at remembering the name. And a lot of Game Pass games. So I feel like Boyfriend Dungeon is in the perfect intersection of the stuff that he normally does. He's got a soft voice, a great attitude, and somebody who I definitely think you all can really... Breath of Fire 2. Man, I'm really bad at this. I was too busy making all the boomer jokes and can never remember the game's name. Anyways, Nightvalien Nightvalien's definitely got a lot of qualities that I think make him worth checking out. So if you're looking for somebody who you can put on and enjoy, whether you want to do the interaction or whether you want to just sit back and enjoy the sounds, he's definitely somebody who I can recommend. And of course, he stops by my channel, so it's always nice to see him. Eventually, she names Isaac and Brooks Associates by name in a special thank you for his generosity. You notice Isaac smiling to himself as the speech ends. Someone turns the music back up and the dance floor starts to fill. Well, I don't think everything she said was true. My help wasn't necessary. If everyone were paid a living wage, we wouldn't need investors. Really? I mean, I'm not, okay. My distribute. Sorry. Okay. that really reaction is going to be something that's potentially going to piss a few people off. I'm actually just trying to think of the attitude. So this isn't like I'm not going to like try and flex the econ thing. I'm just thinking of the idea of people seeing kind of a fight between I don't know, labor and capital. That seemed a little incompatible with the way that I think most people think of this stuff. I'm a little curious where he goes with this. Okay, if everyone were paid a living wage, we wouldn't need investors. We could also reduce inheritance. But where'd my father go? Okay, now I will get into the econ thing. This is actually one I do agree with. Maybe not reduce inheritance, but I think the estate tax or the like low to no taxation on inheritances or certain aspects of inheritances. Kind of insane, but that may vary depending on your country. But anyways, don't worry about it. If only were it that easy. I'd love to pick a dialogue option that says, I don't care what he thinks. Let's get some fresh air. Isaac leads you outside. Vincent and Isaac's assistant are talking. That's when Isaac pooped his pants in front of the whole family. Wow, that's hilarious. Father. Oh, hi, Isaac. I'm gonna go. My worthless son, are you done with your farce? I wanted to show you that my money helps people. Real people. Instead of obsessing over how much money others have, why not take care of yourself? You don't even have a partner, unless... Don't tell me you're dating this disaster. Vincent gestures in your general direction without looking at you. Hey! Leave Alfred out of this. What matters to me is that I make a difference. Funding these bores isn't making a difference. All you're making is a fool of yourself. Vincent gets in a town car and slams the door. The driver pulls away. Isaac sighs, staring after him. Well, now I can enjoy the party without distraction, I guess. You okay?
Yes.
I'm alright. I knew this was likely going to happen. All I wanted is a good job, but nothing with him is ever simple. Come on, let's forget him. I'll introduce you to a few people. Your friendship is my most valuable investment yet. Oh, what a charmer. He offers you his elbow with a small bow. Allez! Hold any heavy attack to charge up into a more powerful move. And perhaps a small gift for the gentleman? I bought you that little thing. I don't know if it's your style, but I'd like you to have it. Thanks. Wonderful. Let's see what kind of music that DJ has started to play. You rejoin the party and spend the rest of the evening together. So we were still going through the phone messages when we had a sort of a diversion. Okay. Jesse tells me that you have a very attractive friend. I don't want to pry, but is it serious? We're eloping. No! My invitation in the mail, or else. Remember, live by the sword, die by the sword. Which I guess is a saying about marriage. Anyway, have a good day, sweetie. I had a great time last night. Thanks again for coming. Thanks for inviting me. Now I'm warmed up for facing your fears in the dungeon. All right. I've been thinking a lot, and I've decided, for sure, I don't want you to die. Thanks. Yeah, so want to hang out? Summer nights are the best. No death allowed. Okay. Meet you at the beach at 9. So, how was the barbecue? So romantic, right? Well, in my opinion, I've tried my best, and you seem like you're happy, so honestly, I consider my job done here. You've met some great folks, gone on some dates. I think I can back off and let you do your thing for the rest of the summer. Is that okay? More Sure. Cool. Now we can just be normal friends and cousins. Whew. Love you, cuz. Talk to you later. All right. We are done the contacts. Let's go. I think we'll try the Dunj. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, improve what we could do. I'm not going to do Capulet Breed. Oh, man, that's great. I'm wondering if there's other references that I've missed out on. Oh man, I love the name Paradise Lost. I better have picked up on that last last time. God, this game's really charming. Wait. I don't remember this. They did such a good job with the soundtrack on this too. All right, let's go back to the mall. Okay. So out of like overall performance-wise, I definitely work best with Isaac. It's also like he's a really good character. They're all very good characters, but like Isaac, I think I don't know if I find more sympathetic or I relate more to, because it's funny because I have absolutely none of the qualities of Isaac. But then again, it's kind of hard to say that I have the the qualities of anybody there. But I do tend to find, like, I don't know, for some reason Isaac is definitely a character that I'm probably the most invested in terms of seeing where it goes. And as far as the combat's concerned, I tend to find the S-Stock is a little easier. So we've made it to 7, or at least the checkpoint for us was 7. I think I am going to start from 1, even if it does wind up being sort of some more trivial fights. What I'd like to do here is just kind of get reacquainted with the controls and go through it.
A fine opportunity for training.
I wonder if that's his indication. I wonder if he says that in the mall no matter what, or if that's the game recognizing that I'm taking on challenges. Oops. The inner demons want to duel. Given to us both, I'd say. Alright. So definitely more hits than I wanted on that. I don't remember... So I thought... Oh, maybe it's right as the... There we go. So right is the heavy attack. We should probably be able to handle that now. I'm not quite ready to head down to the next level unless there's nothing else for us to do here. So, you know, I think there's two kind of, I don't want to call them pillars, but there's two aspects that really lock in for me what I like about this game. The first would be, I really enjoyed one of Kit Fox's earlier titles. I don't believe it was their first, but I do think it was a... I do think it was... actually, I think it might be their second game, but it's called Mood Hunters. Now, unfortunately, it seems like the multiplayer, or like the online multiplayer for that will be going away, and I believe that is because Unity's apparently got a bit of a bad habit for this. They pushed a particular technology to enable that, and they've now stopped supporting it. And so as a consequence, you know, I don't even know if it's even feasible for Kit Fox to go back and try and re-enable it, but I also suspect for that game, like the activity just doesn't merit the sort of the time and expense of realizing that. I want to be really careful about saying that because that's clearly not an official line from them. And I know that some people will see that as sort of like, oh, greedy dev, not caring about the games. But it's also perhaps worth remembering that this game has also been released on, I believe it's on Switch. I don't remember if there's any other platforms that it's on. But that's not a trivial task to make that thing work. So, again, I'm not entirely sure the reasons why, but I do know that Unity gonna Unity, and unfortunately, a component that made the multiplayer for that work is not not going to be ongoing. But it is very enjoyable as a local co-op game. And the combat, I don't know, there's some elements of the combat, the way the levels kind of work, the sort of the combat style, I can see some parallels that make me think fondly of it. And it's rather rude to drift off into daydreams with a guest at hand, Okay. But so I think this is one of the things that maybe I don't want to say is surprising, because obviously Kitfox are very good game developers, but I maybe wasn't expecting to crawling around in the dungeon. I like the way it feels. I kind of like being able to do it. And in addition, the reason why people want to try this, of course, is the dating sim part. The dating the swords bit, which of course is a really fun hook. But in this particular case here, actually going into the dunge, if it's kind of neat that the selling point is the dating the sword. So I think you've probably got a ready audience for the dating sim part. But because I actually really like the dungeon crawling, I don't want to call the story an interruption. I obviously like the story. I was just talking about how I like it. But it's kind of to a point I'm like, oh, it brought me to another. You would make quite an elegant statue, a saint of battle, perhaps. It does. It is kind of funny that my first reaction to getting a story bit was, oh, but I was gonna go to the dunge. Okay. Ice skating. I haven't done this in years.
Mm-hmm.
Isaac ties up his skates, and you start gliding on the ice. He holds out his hand. Skate alongside him. When I was 10 or so, my father took my family up to Canada for a winter. I thought you were rich. So we know what real cold was like. All right. I mostly hated it, but there was this big frozen lake, and the kids all skated on. It felt so freeing to be alone out on the ice with just your thoughts. Or with a friend I could trust. Isaac smiles. Maybe that's why I enjoy going into the dunge with you. I'm like a frozen lake? No, that's not what I meant at all. I've put my foot in it again. I just meant that I appreciate our time together, that's all. Would you like to offer a gift? Let's try... I'm thinking the mackerel's not... You decide not to give a gift right now. You skate a bit longer before you return to the dunge. Oh, actually, I remember one thing that I kind of liked about Isaac is one of the introductions for him is fencing, so it was a chance for me to remember some of my training. Darn it! Tried to get too fancy. That old technology symbolizes change, I believe. I get this really weird response to games where when they articulate what something is or what it means when it's supposed to be a mystery. So for instance here, for those of you unfamiliar with the game, the dungeon, the things you encounter in the dungeon represent something that you fear. Oddly enough, I may be facing the possibility of a job change, but the change isn't like a strictly dominant one. Nothing's for sure yet, but there do seem to be some positive signals. So I am definitely feeling, like normally I'm like, fear of change. That's an old saw, right? But now I'm kind of like, oh man, yeah, actually I totally get like what why this is a worry. Like I'm really having to sort of sit and think and say, okay, is this because, you know, I'm dealing with a devil you know situation, or am I you know, or is this a fact that, you know, I'm letting my current anger at my existing job force me to take a less than, you know, a less than ideal alternative? Hey, Clem, how you doing? But yeah, so the Dunj, basically the monsters, in principle, the monsters will be different in the Dunj depending on who you are. And it's funny that I very naturally react in a game when they say, you know, oh, these phones represent fear. And I'm like, oh, well, then I know it's not fear, because where's the mystery? You know, where's the discovery at the end? I for some reason try to meta out the story, except that everything in this game points to the phones being change. So, you know, I have a really unhelpful habit on these things. Wait a minute, you actually got hit by a flip phone? I thought you were just saying something for Twitch chat. That's terrible. I'm so sorry, Night Valian. I guess back in your time, that would have been one of those, like, dial phones, too. Like, the ones with the rotors. So, that must have been heavy. See, this is a lot of fun to go just running through the dungeon. I don't know, like I've had some pretty nasty encounters in the schoolyard, but I don't think I've ever had somebody throw hardware at me. The vending machine offers several choices. Let's buy sugar. Oops, looks like the machine broke when handing out your item. So I'm curious if there are anybody, if anybody in chat or otherwise able to interact has actually played this game. Isaac watches the water gently falling. Sometimes I wonder if the monsters came because of the beauty here. Even among the crass commercialism, there's something lovely and ephemeral about a fountain. To me, this is true spirituality, enjoying a moment of light and water. Want to pray? No, but I can certainly appreciate beauty. Like you, I suppose. Spend a moment together in silent contemplation. Eventually you feel the moment pass and return to the Dunj rested. I can't remember if I did the want to pray option before. Ah! Ooh. So all that health I wasted in the earlier levels. The thing is that like with this damage I'm taking, this should be like pretty trivial stuff for me. So I think your fear of change is lessening as we go deeper. Oh yeah, workmates plan new games difficult. Someday I will chew through this backlog. I definitely feel everyone on the backlog thing. I've talked about this a couple of times where there's stuff that I want to play on stream, so I don't wind up playing it on time. Wolfenstein was a perfect example of it. Oh, I never noticed the, I think this might be an example of parallax. That's really well done. Actually, I will be honest, one thing I'm really curious about is what, like, I know some games have done this, and I wish it was more of a thing, except that I also know it actually takes some effort to do it this way. I'd genuinely love to see sort of the early versions of some of these games that I really enjoy, because I know Industries of Titan looks nothing like the game that I play on stream in its early version. I believe that one was done by Ryan Clark. And obviously Boyfriend Dungeon has this nice polish to it, but I'm gonna assume that little things like the walls moving appropriate with the perspective and such was not a thing that you would see in an early version of the game. So I kind of want to know, like, what was this thing that Kit Fox played and they said is like, you know what, I like this. Actually, apparently this has been an idea that they wanted to do for a while, but I'm a little curious what an early version of this would look like when they're maybe even still in a position of trying to decide whether or not this is something that they want to, that they would like to put the time and money into. Isaac eyes the massage chairs, considering. These look acceptable. However, I took a course in massage therapy long ago. I could give you a massage if you'd like. What would you prefer? All right, your hands. Be gentle. You think he might be blushing. Excellent. I'll start with your fingertips and work my way to the lower back. Just relax. You feel Isaac work the stress and tension out of your limbs, back and neck. When he's finished, you feel a deep lethargy, but renewed flexibility too.
Mm-hmm.
There we are then. I hope that was acceptable. Should I... Thanks.
Right.
You're most welcome. It's a pleasure to use an old skill. Now, let's go back to the dungeon, shall we? No harm in keeping this safe from the monsters. Don't the monsters need a living wage too? Ah! That old technology symbolizes change, I believe. Actually, I'm curious, Glum, and anybody who'd like to answer this. On your backlog, what's the one, if you had to, and obviously if you want to share, what's the one that you'd probably play first? We'll give it a good home. Right, so there was a boss fight here. Oh yeah, I forgot about the roll. Oops. Probably not bad to get a little practice on a boss in before I go too far. Found fabric, soft and comfy. It's alright to let your guard down now and then. Isaac looks up at the sculpture thoughtfully. It's lovely. I often like to think of cats when I'm fencing. They have such poise and grace, especially when they hunt. But perhaps you prefer dogs? I'm not an animal person.
Right.
It's true that both dogs and cats are quite a mess and an inconvenience. Besides, animals are not ideal conversational partners. He touches your hand and smiles. Shall we resume? I'll admit, I'm a real sucker for these tracks just because I love the sound of synthesizer. Like, it's pretty much any synthesizer I'm going to like the sound of. And it just happens that this is also a very good soundtrack in addition to having lots of synthy sounds. A Cultist Mitre recipe. I wonder if that's a Shrouded Isle reference. I have yet to play Shrouded Isle, I am ashamed to admit, but I did buy it. No harm in keeping this safe from the monsters. Stellaris or the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Both good choices. I've not played the Final Fantasy VII Remake. But then again, I haven't played original Final Fantasy. Stellaris is definitely a good choice, though. I think you've you know exactly how I feel about Stellaris. Okay, so we've maxed our rank with Isaac. We're going to have to go on another date. Oh my goodness! Vitran! There's like way better people online right now. What are you doing coming in here with your subscriptions? I really need to find a better animation for that, but all right, I get a chance to shout out a very important VIP in the chat. For those of you who do not know, the Vitran is formerly, I believe the proper title is Communications Director for Kit Fox Games. And after tremendous turmoil and soul searching, Vitran decided to move on to Inner Sloth. And so for those of you who are fond of Among Us, Vitran is one of the people working on that game. And in fact, if nothing else, if you don't follow that game on your own, you may have seen her in the stream with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Jagmeet Singh. So I'm not kidding when I say, you know, very, very important VIP in the chat. Now, the only thing I'm a little worried about is I actually don't know the I don't remember the proper title. Is it community director that you officially are? Because the thing is that Vitran, in addition to being like a TikTok maven, and I love using this term because I hate it so much, but it embarrasses people. Vitran is also a thought leader, writes some excellent blogs. You know, I think you're also involved with unpacking for some reason. In any case, someone with incredible talents, many talents, and the reason why I gave the shout out there is not just to talk about what a nice person they are, but now also streams as well. So I think there's like some biz dev inside of there, but if you want to know about social media, how it works, how game developers reach out to you, what it means, you know, to get some perspective. Particularly, I think what's been great with Vitran is that all of the qualities that made her such a wonderful, you know, manager for Kit Fox, none of those have been lost with sort of the increased scale of a game like Among Us. And so it, you know, they will talk about these things in very approachable ways. You know, somebody who I have definitely benefited from, you know, some mentorship. Actually, yeah, this is maybe worth mentioning. Vitran is actually the person who is responsible for me getting access to my very first game data, which kind of started this snowball of me getting access to some more. And I think indirectly has potentially wound up with me getting a chance to visit some cool people in Vancouver by the end. You didn't say, yeah, I'm sorry, Vitran, I just didn't get a chance to like talk. Wait, actually, yeah. So this is a bit of an institution here. I am told that I give these very baroque and nice shout outs. So I think the thing is that if I don't talk about your talents, people are going to be like, oh, he really hates Vitran. Like, did you hear how little he said? But no, on top of that, like, Vitran is an incredibly accomplished and very, kind and thoughtful individual. So the thing is that anytime I talk about the Vitran is one of those people who you can kind of hate because it seems like they're really good at everything that they touch, but then you're not allowed to hate them because on top of that, they're so like nice and helpful, and like they build other people up, and like they, like they're also, you can't really find the thing where it's like, aha, I knew they had like a hidden skeleton somewhere. Yeah, we totally have people. See, yeah, and then the thing is that I'm going to wind up with like 10% of your followers like telling me I'm a horrible person for like coming after you. But no, like Vitran is a wonderful example of just how many interesting and talented people are helping shape the games that you and I get to play, drawing our attention to them, and something I think both Vitran and I can take some time to appreciate. I hope. Oh, wait a minute. No, I almost gave the wrong account. Intelligame. I think it's Intelligame Us. I've never figured out if it's Intelligame US or Intelligame Us, but one way or the other. I know I knew this broadcaster is Wallstormer, and then I'd like never watch their channel because they stream under Intelligame Us. But Vitran is that emote. That emote is from Intelligame Us. Intelligame. I'm so sorry. But another wonderful broadcaster. Actually, not to try and take any of their thunder, because first of all, they just do it better than I used to anyway. But way back when I'd sort of talk a little bit more about sort of serious stuff. I mean, we still do. So those of you who like system talk stuff, we've already hosted Intelligame a couple of times already. But Intelligame definitely goes quite deep in the themes and the ideas behind their game, and has not just built a channel, but really a community around those particular ideas. So just to maybe avoid too much embarrassment on Vitran's part, I'm going to take the rest of this wonderful shout out to say the last great accomplishment of Vitran vis-a-vis my entertainment has been the drawing my attention to a wonderful broadcaster in the form of Intelligame. Also, maybe I should also say I will also give a thumbs up for not banning me after all of my system chalk rhymes. All right, let's carry on. I am sorry, by the way. I tremendously like Isaac, as will be revealed by my love ranks. But we are maxed with Isaac, so I'm afraid we have to sheath. Whoa, okay, I guess we're not sheathing Isaac. But next round we will, because I'd like to try and level up some other things. He really does. I don't remember why. I was under the impression originally that this game was not like fully voice acted. Well, I mean, it's not fully voice acted, but I didn't, for some reason, I didn't think that it was voice acted. So then I heard the voices and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I was like, oh, dang. Like, how do I survive something like that? Like, I can't talk over this game when all of these wonderful paragons of vocal qualities are in the game. Bring it. Oh, wrong button. No harm in keeping this safe from the monsters. Ooh, 2. Actually, the VTran, I don't want to turn this into like an impromptu interview. Although if you ever want an interview, you are very welcome to this channel for that. We were talking a little bit earlier about, like, one thing I was kind of curious is what the early version of this looked like, because obviously this is, you know, very polished, this is super fun to play, but I was a little curious, like, at what the game looked like at the time when it's like it's an idea and it's like, we may or may not actually make this thing, or, you know, we know it's good. We've decided to, like, bring this thing, you know, we've decided to actually properly make this thing. But maybe a way, for your case, I'll maybe say, when did you play this, or what was the moment where you sort of knew that this was great, or like that this thing was going to be a hit? When did you fall in love with Boyfriend Dungeon? Isaac watches the water gently falling. Sometimes I wonder if the monsters came because of the beauty here. Even among the crass commercialism, there's something lovely and ephemeral about a fountain. To me, this is true spirituality, enjoying a moment of light and water. I understand completely.
Right.
I'm glad. I've always wanted to share a quiet moment with someone. Like you, I suppose. You spend a moment together in silent contemplation. No, I mean, that's totally fair, VTran. Like, it's a really great idea. And especially, too, because, like, you can kind of see all of the idea. Like, as soon as you hear the premise, you kind of imagine the mechanics. It's like, oh, yeah, you know, you level the weapons up as you grow with your relationship with them. And that's totally something that's inside the game. One of the things I was talking about a little bit earlier is that what maybe surprised me is that the hook for me, of course, is this dating the weapons idea, which is a really neat one. But it's also kind of funny that I was going through the texts and I wound up on a date, and like there was a side of me I was like, oh, I'm on a date, like I kind of want to go to the Dunj, because I do actually find the dungeon crawling quite fun too. Which is obviously quite unique for a visual novel or a dating sim, because, you know, usually those you will accept that you will have you'll have a good story, you'll have some fun moments and some interesting choices to make. But one of the things that's so nice is that, you know, the combat, you know, makes me kind of think of Moonhunters, which I like quite a bit. So, you know, on top of the fact that I have this wonderful premise, I've got this dungeon crawler where I'm like, oh, can we hurry up with the, you know, can we get to the emotional crux? I really want to go back into the dungeon now. So, and this was yeah, I did know that. I think actually there's an interview with Tanya where they, like, I think, from what I understand, like, the idea for this has been something, if not for Kit Fox, at least for Tanya, has been like a really long-term project, and it wasn't one that necessarily had this external validation in terms of like other people having success. And then like Dream Daddy, I think, had come out. Yeah, so then you say when Dream Daddy was successful, you're like, people are interested in this. I'm trying to remember the interview that I saw that one in, but that must have felt good. I'll admit, I was over the moon to see, like, you know, just once all the tweets kind of came out talking about how the game was doing, I was really, really happy to hear that it paid off, and not just because everybody, you know, not just because you're all Canadians. Oh, that's right, you and Night Valia know it. It was a good call. We lack proper representation, especially in dating sim. Well, yeah, that was in the same interview. That was one thing that Tanya had talked about, which is that, you know, in some dating sims, like, they are really sexual, which is clearly, like, I think one thing that I like about this game is it does take its topics seriously, but it doesn't. like, I guess the thing is that there are so many ways that this game could have gone, and I think like people would have accepted it kind of going into a, I don't know, like a more R-rated place, I guess. I'm trying to think of the right way of phrasing it, but it does a really nice job of like conveying what it needs, delivering the goods. Like you get the dates, you get the innuendo, you get everything. But it's a little okay. Actually, this is going to be a weird analogy, but those of you who have seen both will totally know what I'm talking about. I didn't really. So like Shrek's obviously an old movie, and like the majority of Pixar movies that I've seen are like old ones. And one thing when I watch Shrek and I watch, Monsters Inc. or something like that. I mean, take your pick, really. Maybe we'll say like a Toy Story or whatever. The one thing I really don't care about and I'll admit, like I only watched the first Shrek. There's a lot of adult humor in it, and like it's you're about to say something rude, but you cut it off just before you lose the G rating. I've never felt great about that in kids movies because kids aren't idiots. Like I know what they meant. And like kids are gonna know it too. Well, I should hope I know what they meant. Obviously, I'm watching it as an adult. Pixar is really entertaining to like everybody, but it never actually has to rely on, at least the Pixar I've seen, it doesn't actually really rely on the toilet humor. It's fun. Like I think in one of the Toy Stories there was like a James Bond reference, like Odd Job throwing his hat. Mr. Potato Head does that, and that's like something that Dad can enjoy instead of just kind of waiting and praying that the film is going to be over. And I have a lot of respect for Pixar being able to do that. It's sort of the same way that Maxis was able to make The Sims. The Sims made dump trucks of money because it's something that appeals to literally everyone. Like I love Big McLarge Huge, the space marine who kills everything, but that's not for everyone. The Sims really does feel like it's for everyone, and the money it makes shows that it's for everyone. And again, you don't necessarily need to like murder people, and you don't necessarily need to, you don't need to fall on some of the tropes that a lot of games do. So to bring it back to Boyfriend Dungeon, like I think Boyfriend Dungeon does a great job of delivering the goods on like dating sims and all of the innuendo, like all of the subjects that this game touches. I think it does well. I would argue it does better than most dating sims, whether they are the lowbrow ones or even some of the more celebrated ones. But I also feel that the game doesn't necessarily it seems to go. It never quite seems to fall over the edge. And I do include, there's a wonderful clip. I think the clip is gone now, but I managed to get a clip of the Vitran during the pick scene, which I didn't see because I gave a different dialogue option, but that reaction was solid gold. Anyway, sorry, I'm filibustering the game. Oh, I don't remember any of the special abilities with Valeria. This is a bad choice for the deeper levels. I totally missed what Isaac was saying to me. Check out your workbench. Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm singing the praises. The other one, as always, soundtrack is fantastic. Soundtrack I wound up getting on Apple Music. I should probably just turn it on repeat because I'm assuming there's like a per play. There's like a per play fee that they get. So I kind of like the record player for some reason. Or turntable, or whatever you're supposed to call them. Yeah, I have absolutely none of the elegance of Isaac when I'm using the dagger, which again I think probably reflects the personalities a little bit. But it's kind of neat. Like it's subtle, but like when I'm with the dagger, I totally feel that it's a much more of a scrappy, like, how do I put it? It's definitely a much more kind of a brawly sort of a weapon, at least in my hands. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong. The old gramophone. Finally, a monster-free zone. An arcade. Oh, neat. Arcades are romantic in a way.
Huh.
The machines become outdated almost as soon as they're made, you know? They're ephemeral, always replaced by something newer and better. But there's some charm in the older games as a window to the past. If you squint, pixel art has a lot in common with pointillism or mosaics. Do you ever play older games? Lots.
Huh?
Wow, really? An antiquarian of sorts, then. Maybe we should visit a game museum sometime. They have those? For now, we gotta get back to the fight and show those monsters who's boss. Valeria sighs dramatically. Would you like to offer a gift? As much as I would love to give Valeria a gift, I'm going to assume that mackerel is not on the menu today. Okay, you want to know what's absolutely nuts, Night Valian? I've already forgotten the name of the game. Breath of Fire 2? I mean, at this point, I'm just going to deliberately forget it. Finally, nicely done. Now I could use a drink. Okay. Yeah, at this point, I feel like I should just deliberately forget the game name to make that a thing. This is maybe another example. Sorry, the mall isn't so bad when it's with you, or when it's with you. Good lord, that's not where the emphasis goes. You're a drama school hack. I only did directing and script writing in my high school drama class. I never acted. Something tells me none of you really needed to know that I've never acted before. I think that's self-evident. But yeah. You found the glitter eyeshadow recipe. Check it out at your workbench. Next level. Okay. Oh wait, I think it said we would start at floor 7 when we would advance things, no? So this might be an area we haven't gotten past yet. By the way, I love the description for sugar in this. I gotta bring up the inventory at some point. I don't think I can do it from. Don't think I can do it justice from memory. And yes, I know I don't use my zines well enough. We don't really need this coffee yet, so let's... There we go. Oh, that's right, I totally forgot that I can bamboozle them. Aha, now the fun part. It is said, Colonel Lawrence, that you have a very funny idea of fun. I wouldn't mind taking a breather. I have time for a little self-indulgence, right? You sit in the massage chairs, they begin to vibrate and knead your back. Too soon it's over. You feel more relaxed. Would you like to offer a gift? I'm keeping my mackerel. Valerius stretches with a happy groan. You think the monsters use massage chairs to relax when they're not fighting? Probably not. She nods, suddenly extremely serious. All those weird vertebrae need special massage expertise, I'm sure. Until we chop them up, let's go. Sorry, I was talking about things that possibly make me a terrible streamer for this game. I like the dungeon crawling bits, but clearly the selling bits are the dates. So the fact that I spend more time in the Dunj makes me I realize it's denying you all the stuff you want to see. So we'll get to a date. Don't worry. You found single malt Scotch recipe. Check it out at your workbench. I just hoard all the dates so that we can have, you know, a bonanza. Oh, maxed. All right. You know, we haven't really given Sunder some screen time, so here we go. Verona Mall deepens. This is the trailer music, I think. Battle your fears. I probably should have equipped Isaac if I'd known there was a boss fight. Sacre bleu! I didn't mean to do that, but no harm, no foul. Alright, I don't know what I was so worried about. You found the Kigurumi recipe? Unfortunately, I am a very unsophisticated individual. I don't know what that is. But we will look it up when we get home. The mall gate has been permanently unlocked. Something that will definitely not get anybody sued by Disney, so let's just wait till we find out what it's actually called. Laser sword! You find a strange gadget. It fits into your hand smoothly, but you're not sure how to use it.
Ah, weird. There's a button on the side.
You press the button, and its fire flares to life. That was a really...
Hey. Whoa. I feel slow. Like I took a really long nap.
I really like that animation. I like the way that they do the lights. I guess it's appropriate that we've got Sunder when the transformation animations are coming up.
Maybe I have a screw loose. Literally. Who are you both? What day is it?
Febtober. You tell him what you know.
I've been down here 2 weeks. Well, thanks for waking me up. I'm 7. I should probably let my agent know where I've been.
You have an agent?
Yeah, no comment. But I know I owe you one. How about a coffee later?
Sure.
Uh-huh.
You're also welcome to La Rosa anytime. 7 leaves you and returns to your exploration. Oh, sorry, returns you to your exploration. I need to learn to read. Too many video games rotting my brain. Oh, that's right, I inflict bleed. Well, Sunder inflicts bleed. I could use a break. Sunder watches the water fall, mesmerized. Sound of water is almost musical. Not very good for dancing, though. More like trance. Do you think they have a music store? I guess those don't really exist anymore. Malls aren't as popular anymore either, and here we are, so anything's possible. Oh well, let's keep going. No mackerel for Sunder either. Not that I had the option. This might be a little more than I can handle. Now, I'm a little curious. Oh man, we were really... Okay, that's nice of the phones to have some mercy on me. I'm really intrigued by the fact that the televisions are a little more modern than the previous ones. I'm wondering if there's any significance I should draw out of that. So, this is actually a really funny one. So, for those of you who don't know, Cyberpunk's totally Canadian. There is a small argument that Philip K. Dick... So we know that Philip K. Dick spent some time in the Vancouver downtown east side, which I think still is the poorest postal code in Canada, although there may be a few areas that are giving it a run for its money, sadly. And, you know, obviously Blade Runner, a lot of its art direction is, you know, a work... Yeah, Sunder, I'm pontificating. Just hold your horses. If I flexed my abs for every time I held a game hostage so I could, like, spout thoughts, I might look like Sunder. But, anyways, so, you know, it's a little tricky, right? So you don't want to say, I took a night off dancing for this? Okay, we're going to run laps. Actually, no, let me just try and fight while we do this. So, it's a hard connection to make just because so much of what we know of how or Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep is from the Ridley Scott adaptation, not necessarily the work that Philip K. Dick wrote. However, one book that I think is considered sort of a foundational text in cyberpunk is William Gibson's Snow Crash. It's not Snow Crash, that's Neil Stephenson. Neuromancer. That was the book that coined cyberspace. Sorry, that's the boss room. William Gibson was born an American but moved to Vancouver, I believe, to dodge the draft. But in any case, so actually I had an English teacher who apparently didn't really know William Gibson, but did was in the neighborhood. So they'd all sort of see him typing away on his typewriter, you know, as they'd be walking by, and you sort of know it's another work from the, you know, one of the fathers of the cyberpunk genre. We won, like we always do, as far as I'm concerned. So this is why I don't play games while I'm doing these rants. I totally forgot where I was going with this. So, why was it important for me to say that Cyberpunk was Canadian? Oh, right, no. So the thing about Neuromancer, that book has aged terribly. I mean, that book aged terribly when I first read it. But so the really famous opening line for that book is, the spaceport was the color of a sky. The sky above the spaceport was the color of a television tuned to a dead channel. Now, when you see the TVs in the earlier levels, that line makes sense. Now, if you see a TV tuned to a dead channel, for all you know, it's this brilliant blue, and it's a great day. There's other things like, Case spends so much time in the book, like running around trying to find people, because, for all of the forward thinking that Neuromancer had, there's no cell phones. It's kind of funny. So anyways, the only reason I mention it is that, we've got a pretty clear progression. So there's like deluxe versions of the record players, but like this is very clearly a more modern TV, and we've I don't think the bats are going to turn into DVDs though. but yeah, I mean, when we've had this this introduction to a fear of change, and because it's old technology, again, like TVs that show you the colored bar. Well, I guess the colored bars were always on that's like the test pattern that people broadcast. But I'm again, it's just one of these things where I'm kind of curious, given the fact that clearly this game has been made with a lot of special attention. I always kind of have to second guess myself and wonder whether some of these touches are intentional or deliberate, or it just happens to be a way of, like the better TV is the stronger boss. May have to go back to Isaac if I want to try and get some progress here. Your heart's pumping. Need a breather?
Uh-huh.
Sure, I'll skate a bit. Want to race? I'm going to warn you, I'm not bad. Let's race. That's what I'm talking about. 2 laps, all right? Ready, set, go! You both set off, carving up the ice. You skate as hard as you can, but in the middle you fumble and nearly trip. Sunder beats you to the finish line. Whew, that was pretty close. Oh, sorry, that was close. You're pretty good. Now my blood's pumping. I love it. Sunder smiles. We're all warmed up before more monster fighting. I wonder if, because I haven't gotten any new items to gift, and I've already sort of said no to enough people, that it's just it's not giving me the option to gift anymore. Man, I'm really bad with this. Get back here. We won, like we always do as far as I'm concerned. I can't let Sunder see me get defeated. Yeah, there's definitely something we haven't investigated here. So bad at this. Yeah, it's something about the delay on the initial strike for the Talwar that keeps me open to those record hits. Next time we're not going to go from level 1. I think this is fun. I'm enjoying the dungeon crawl for sure, but I definitely feel like I've more than warmed up on how stuff works. The rest of this is just my incompetence that's keeping me from delivering the... Oh, actually, I never appreciated the the big reveal that we had about Sunder and what he was up to while we while he told us to stay in the club. Never appreciated the reason why you have the bleed effect. Sorry, I'm not apparently not the sharpest when it comes to references. Should I ask everybody's weekend plans while I walk to the exit? Shouldn't have left a room at the start. Gotta go eat dinner. Oh yeah, Vitran, thank you so much for stopping by. Enjoy your dinner. I hope you have a great weekend, and thank you for everything. I know you didn't. I know you weren't there for release, but thank you for all the work that you put into this game. I do believe it was actually you who first drew it to my attention. But have a great one, and thank you very much for that sub. That was totally unnecessary, but I'm keeping the money. All right, let's get Isaac back in the rotation. Let's take care and get through this. Ooh. Olaf, how you doing, my friend? And a sub, my goodness. It's great to hear you're doing all right. First of all, thank you very much for the resub and your host. Obviously, you're a very long-standing and incredibly supportive viewer, who I really only think I know by virtue of the connection with Miss Ariella. So I appreciate tremendously. You know, Ariella and I have very different styles, so it's definitely not lost on me that you've definitely been a regular and a very valued member of the stream. But yeah, for me, it was kind of a mixed day at work, but I did have a bit of luck on a job interview that I had to do for today. So, you know, it's not in the bag, but it's definitely looking good. And then, of course, there's the whole dilemma as to whether or not it's worth leaving my current position for it, because you don't want to go from one thing that you may not like to something that may just, you might be trading another set of problems for. But I think it's worth taking a minute and just being, I don't want to sound too furry on it, but it is worth taking a minute to recognize that it's nice that I have, it's all right to let your guard down now and then. It's nice to kind of have the it's nice to have the problems that I have. Obviously anything that is a problem for me is something that is definitely reflecting a fairly advantaged set of circumstances for me. Now, I don't remember, were you here when we first, we did the first part of this game?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I couldn't possibly. I don't know anything about these kinds of games. I wasn't allowed near them as a child. These days, I don't have the time. I'll watch you, though. They look exciting. What do you want to play? All right, we could play... Oh, that's a really clever... Okay, I don't know about Street Puncher, but Chronocyte Pinball. Okay, actually, you know what? Sorry. This is going to be another one of those points where I distract from the game. But... I'm gonna share something with you. Oh man, what do I... Okay, you know what? We'll do this together. So this is a website, cmf-fmc.ca. This is one of Canada's programs that are sort of designed to help foster the creative arts, Canadian heritage. And if we go under our programs... Oh, this is interesting. Yes, I am going to read the scintillating breakdown of the 2021-2022 program budget. All right, I believe it's under the experimental stream. So let's see. This has changed a bit. God damn it. I guess it's commercial projects now. There used to be like man, this site has changed the last time I visited. So I may not be able to find what I was looking for. There was a... Oh, here we go. Funded projects might work. Wait, really? They used to have a... Oh, what an inefficient way of doing it. Just let me see all the years, please. What? Oh, man. So if I pick more than 1 year, they really don't show me more than... That's gotta be an error. Okay, sorry, guys. Maybe if I did... Now, but that's going to be the results. Oh, actually, hang on. Content type, game. So if I add another year to that. Okay, if I take away the year. Okay, we can work with this. I don't know if it gives me... Yeah. We'll just max... So basically, this is not a grant. This is a... This is a... Like, it's a form of financing, so there are terms under which you will repay them. I think back in the old days, it was an expectation that, like games wouldn't make money. I think back when Clay was using this, like I think the CMF was surprised that they actually repaid the money. Alpha Centauri? That's a Firaxis game. How are they able to... All right, I'm going to look into that one next time. I'm trying to look. I'm hoping this is chronological. Because there's a couple that I want to point out. I mean, I can just tell you, but it's a lot more exciting if you can say it's like, yeah, you can actually see this. You too can go to the website and find these funding decisions. My Little Pony, welcome to Equestria, made with government money, my friends. Actually, here's what I'm going to do. Project Blade is... Wow, we're still 2021? That can't be right. So I think most of these games probably aren't out yet. Okay, that maybe explains... Okay, let's go to the bottom of this page and see if the... Okay, we're now to 2019, 2020. Maybe it's better if I go back from the beginning. Okay. Let's just double check. Yeah, 2012, 2013, so we can work with this. But yeah, so basically this is run through, I believe, the Department of Heritage or heritage department, but any of you play a little game called Outlast? So that was funded through the experimental stream, through the Canadian Media Fund. $1 million. Well, commitment. I believe if the game like is halted, it's like there's not the full amount. I think there are certain milestones that you need to hit. What are some other ones? Oh, Secret Ponchos. I forgot that one. That got marketing money, so that was 70,000. There's some very specific ones that I'm looking for. Oh, Contrast. That's Compulsion Games. $297,769 for marketing. Okay, so the one I was looking for isn't here. Although Outlast is a fun one. I'm actually finding there's a few that I forgot that were CMF recipients. Okay. Oh, Maze. I also forgot. Okay, post-production for Secret Poncho. So again, you'll sometimes see some of these others just because there's other activity that gets hit. Okay, here's one that I was looking for. Moon Hunters. So 153, 457 in the 2015-2016 fiscal year. Oh, this is interesting. Did I forget? So in the case of Moon Hunters, it does have a description. So in the game Moon Hunters, players can explore a beautiful ancient world, encountering randomly generated characters and problems as you try to recover the mysteriously missing moon. Choices invoke a variety of different character personality traits, from brave to cunning to foolish, building a mythology deeds that will be told by your tribe for centuries to come. Moon Hunters will be available for PC, Mac, and PlayStation Network, and of course now is available on Switch. So you can actually, like in this case, Kit Fox is one of the recipients of CMF money. So it gets a little interesting, right, when you know certain developers that you like and you potentially look for those. So like I know Hothead is based in Vancouver. I think they started off not doing mobile games, but I believe they've transitioned to that, and I've actually found quite a bit of success. It's less likely you'll see somebody like Relic take advantage of this because, of course, Sega's already giving them their money, and Sega probably doesn't want to share its revenues with the Canadian government, which fair enough. And then Ubisoft, of course, is just getting money from the Canadian government in the form of tax rebates. But probably not just Ubisoft. I'm sure EA and Square Enix and what else? EA, Square Enix. I think Bethesda has a Montreal studio now. What's the other one? Oh no, Square Enix does do Deus Ex. That was the one I was thinking for. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting off track. There was a specific title I was looking for on here, and I don't remember the year that it was realized. Oh, here's another one. We Happy Few, Compulsion Games. That one also has a description, $200,000 for marketing. Obviously, that game was later acquired by Gearbox, but you can still see the CMF logo at the start of the... you can see the CMF logo at the start of the game. So if you ever want to know, like, if you're interested, some games that you play, if you see sort of like an orange blocky icon, and it says CMF FMC under it, that's the indicator that that was kind of participating inside of that system. So Darwin Project also got money from the CMF. They got almost the full amount, 925,000. So I'll admit, I was never really all that interested in this game. Like, I'm super happy that it's Canadian, and I really like to support Canadian games, but I was not huge on this. Oh, I didn't know The Messenger was Canadian. All right, I might be past past the point. I might have missed it. I'm going to start trying to go through this a little bit faster. Oh, Fold Apart. Cool. Marketing for Darwin project again. Feel free, if you see anything that you remember, feel free to bring that up in chat. I'm curious how many of you recognize some of the games that are inside of this. The other thing, too, is that I'm looking at stuff that specifically... There it is! Chronocyte. Okay. Tell me if you know what game this is. In Chronocyte, only players' powers of deductive reasoning can stop a black market syndicate. In the shoes of the conflicted genius Agent Trice, it will be impossible to simply guess one's way to the end. The user must act as a true detective, comparing the clues in witness testimonies to determine who is the culprit. But everything isn't as cut and dry as in Sherlock's day. When a small clue seems out of place and players are interrogated and threatened with reformatting, can their own memories be trusted? With 3 new IPs created and released already, Kit Fox Games continues to act as a world-leading creator of rich, intriguing worlds and cutting-edge systemic gameplay. Chronocyte builds on this expertise and fan base by creating an entire new way of playing detective through exploring witness testimonies while guiding the player to explore digital legacies in a challenging series of investigations. 2018 commitment, a little shy of $500,000. It's in the innovation program. That might have been why I was struggling to find it before. Put towards production. So does anybody have a guess as to what game this was? Because it's definitely not called Chronocyte now unless you go and look in certain directories. Or have you all just been tolerating me as I nerd out about the fact that the government of Canada needs to make certain documents public? This will be the last page I look at. I'm just a little curious. It was cool, but you're not sure what the game was. I think it's... No idea? Okay. Is Night Valiant still here? Because if he doesn't know this, we're all going to shame him. I'm just going to take a quick second to see. So the last thing we're going to do... let's see if we recognize any names on the most recent batch. So let's go 2021, 2022. 31 projects that were games. Foolish Mortals. So 33047444 just means they didn't name it when they, when they registered the company. So this game was Lucifer Within Us. Void Studio Trebuchet, Silver String Media, Three Mind Games. Yeah, so it's a different description. Like you can see like some of the bits that did wind up in the finished game, but it's clear that it took a different turn in terms of some of the details, which I think is kind of neat. Like this is the stuff I live for, right? Because you get to see what people thought about the game or what they what they were I'm trying to think, like this is what they thought they were making at the time. And the most interesting ones to me at least are when like the game is different from the finished version, because of course then you sort of think, okay, so what did the process of iteration look like? I'm not really recognizing any names here, which is again fine, because chances are if these are names that I'm familiar with, they're going to be ones that probably are either self-financing or getting better terms with other getting better terms with like established publishers and such. Or, again, there's lots of different ways of working through this. I'm definitely going to need to spend some quality time with this again, because there's definitely some new stuff here that I haven't seen. And then I also noticed that there's a data request guidelines, so I'm a little curious. Ah, darn it. It's a download. Midori, how you doing? Well, I never take attendance, and I'm always happy to see you. I hope you're doing well. Okay, so why did I do this? Well, take a look at what the second game is. Chronocyte Pinball. So this is a a very likely a reference to an earlier the earlier name of a project for Kit Fox. And again, I'm not going to say like you have to be a true Kit Fox fan and stalk them on the CMF to understand understand this. But it's neat. So I kind of wonder whether or not Dog Walker is potentially a reference to Paparazzi, which is a game that they're going to be publishing. But anyways, we're going to play Chronocyte Pinball. So many blinking lights. Play a few rounds of pinball. You get extra points for collecting the letters spelling betrayal. Eventually, you run out of tokens. Video games are surely a waste of time, but I'm glad you had fun. Back to it, shall we? So anyways, for those of you who don't care about little weird bits of minutia, I apologize for the time that we took on that, but this is, if you want to know what my weekends look like, it's basically looking for data like that. I don't know, I think it's fun to learn about new things in the world, so... Or possibly old things in the world that I just didn't... I was wondering if you could knock that back. What we've been up to, Midori Misha? It's or I guess you go by Midori. But how are you feeling? How you doing? Oop. Darn it. Made a loot. Found sword cufflinks recipe. Well, I wonder who's gonna use those. Ah. Thing is, these things hit hard, so if I don't keep on top of the healing, it's game over real quick. Out of heals now. Your form is improving. All right, floor 12. So again, I don't see I don't see much reason to change the weapon. We have the most with Isaac. And again, I like the character, so. This is a point I really should just be using, like, everything I can. Oof. Too slow on the attack. There we go. Doing pretty well. The reason you haven't been around is because you enlisted in the U.S. Navy. Well, you've been to boot camp for the past 10 weeks, but you're now you're in A school. It's like mini college to train you to do your specific job in the Navy. That's great news. So there's going to be some noise coming up, so I'm just going to let that run by. This is like the first time we did it and got like 50 levels. Okay. So, I'd actually applied for the military way back when. Maybe not way back when, but yeah, it was a while ago now. So I mean, if you don't mind saying what job you're doing, I don't mind. I know some jobs you're not allowed to say what you can do, so completely understand if that's not the case. But congrats. That's obviously something that I had wanted to do at a certain point in my life, and unfortunately, it didn't turn out. Although it did sort of give me. So the fact in Canada, you do sort of a formal assessment, and I didn't really see myself as somebody who. So I read books, and I knew I got pleasure from reading, and that I would tend to read books on difficult subjects or things that you might study in a university. But at the time, I didn't necessarily think of myself as particularly academically talented, other than a few people said, you really should go to university if that interests you. And it was actually doing the assessment, they kind of they grade it in the room and bring you up one by one. And I said, yeah, you got through. And I was like, oh, really? I didn't think I did all that well. It's like, well, that's like, what job did you want? And I'm like, it's like, said the position I was going for. It's like, well, you qualified for everything but combat engineer. So, so Navy Nuke, you work on the nuclear reactors and the aircraft carriers and submarines. Oh, that's really interesting. So it's also interesting. I mean, it makes sense that you would have, you'd have the diversity of the role. I never really knew if it would be something specialized. Excuse me, between the different types of vessel. But I suppose the principles are the same. That's really cool. I actually, oddly enough, another viewer works on the civilian side of that. So I believe he works at a reactor. So I asked him, it's like, Chernobyl was a really cool TV show. Like, why don't we have more Chernobyls? And he's like, because I do my job properly. But that's good. Congratulations, Midori Musha. I hope it's what you wanted or were expecting. I realize the introduction is probably not the part that's going to be, the warm seat of your memories. But I'm really glad to hear that you've gone through it. As you leave the Dunj, I don't mean to overthink things, but something's not right. Why would that sword have slept for weeks? Maybe he's depressed. Maybe. Either way, let's keep an eye out. I'll let you know if I see or hear anything. You head home. All right, so we will check out our phone, but I was saying that there's a few things I wanted to show off just in terms of the names or the descriptions of certain wait a minute. Am I missing there's totally descriptions for the items. Why am I missing this? Does anybody remember how to get damn it. Well, I made a cap. I didn't mean to hit the button. Let's make some gifts. Anyway, the description for sugar is something like the basis for all food, probably, or something like that. I found it really charming. All right, so we've made everything but the glitter eyeshadow because we need glue. Is it really glue? That's funny. So I don't remember if these. I feel like some of them give you. Oh, that's right. Kigurumi. I wanted to find out what that was. Sorry, Kigurumi. Adult onesie? Apparently. I am so not the intended audience for this game. I don't know what any of this is. So I'm a little hesitant to like build all of this just because I don't know. I'm sitting on a lot of. Oh yeah, actually, okay. I definitely want to read the zine. So let's equip it from your zine shelf to get a new Dunj ability. So these definitely give me abilities. So we'll do chemistry. I never realized there was an X-Acto knife in the animation. Fashion. Okay, fashion we never would have been able to produce anyway, so. So what are the ones we can't build? Okay, yes, fair enough. So the fox hood and the bowler hat require quite a bit. Oh, quite a few of these require. Okay, sugar and wire I feel I should be able to part with. That's definitely from Shrouded Isle. What made me want to play Boyfriend Dungeon? Well, Kit Fox Games gave me a key for it, first of all, and I have played some of their games on stream in the past. I've played Moon Hunters. I was given a key for Lucifer Within Us as well, which I really enjoyed. And also 6 Ages Ride Like the Wind, which was not developed by them, but was published by them. You've not heard of this game. Okay, this is definitely a game that when you like hear about it, you're like, okay, they must have made like $1 billion making this. So the premise behind this game is that it is a dating sim in which you date the weapons. So in this world, weapons are capable of transforming into human forms. And so, I mean, again, if you're of a particular literary mind, you know, you can decide the implications of, you know, or the metaphor, or what will you. But basically, the idea here is that weapons are not just tools in this game, but they are actually a companion in your, in your dungeon crawl. And the game, so it's kind of divided between two parts. You have what I'm about to be doing, which is to do the actual sort of dating sim side of things. But you also go into the Dunj, which is basically the mall. So the premise of the game is, or not the premise, but the idea, the plot of the game is that you haven't been on a date before, and you've come to Verona Beach, and you are introduced to your cousin who's going to set you up on some dates. And you run into something of a stalker guy named Eric. He's always kind of showing up and leaving flowers at our doorstep and so on and so forth. But we've also met some people, you know, who are quite nice, we get along with, but it really seems to be that we have a particular fondness for the weapons. And so you will generally find the weapons, I think actually exclusively? No, but how would you do the first dungeon expedition if you... Yeah, so I think you meet one weapon first through your cousin, and then the other ones you find as you go through the Dunj. And you level up your weapon as you sort of pursue the relationship with it. It's also fairly... So like obviously when you say dating sim, you kind of assume a certain thing. This game is definitely quite broad in terms of its appeal or its intended audience. So, you know, you can sort of play whatever hero you want. It kind of does the thing that a few games do. The romance options, you know, they will their preferences will largely line up with whatever you want to do down the game, and you also have platonic options with each of the relationships. So you could actually do a dating sim essentially without the dating. But again, it's in one sense a really weird premise, but it's a very charming. Like the dungeon crawling is actually really fun. And I'm kind of invested in terms of seeing where this story is going. And one of the people who worked on it was in the channel a bit earlier, and they pointed out that this is actually a game that sort of predated the really big push in a lot of dating sims. Following like Dream Daddy and I think Hatful Boyfriend might be another example. And it looks like this game was actually quite successful. It's available on the Game Pass. It seemed to do well on Steam. I think it hit #1 or was close to #1. And I believe it also has a Switch release. So, hey, Cured Charlie, good to see you. I'm doing well. All right, sorry. Let's keep making stuff. Leather jacket. Even I don't look cool in it. Even I can't be made to look cool in a leather jacket. But a bowler hat will make me look very dapper. All right. We don't have the fabric for the fox hood, so. But we did all right. Like, we pretty much built everything inside of our inventory. So, this throws a mine trap. 20 experiments you can do at home. Or the sleepy time zine puts most of the monsters to sleep. A warm cup of tea in the form of a zine. I kind of think the fireball's still probably for me here. But got yourself a job in bartending, doing the night shift, so you'll be able to watch streams a lot more now. Well, first of all, I'm really happy to hear a lot of you are finding success in the job market, or that you're moving into stuff that you're interested in. But of course, like I said, I don't take attendance. I'm delighted to see you all here, but I'm even more delighted to hear how you're all doing. Oh, nuts! I think I found. Wait, maybe not. Huh. I could have sworn there was a way to get a description of sugar. It's probably better that I just stop. A soft, squeezable predator stuffed with love. Tastes like the inside of a specific barrel in Scotland. And the rating on this is quite good. All right, so let's see what Isaac has to say. It's been a while since we sparred, and my office has been quiet lately. How about a fencing lesson here? En garde. Prêt, allez. All right, 7 we just met in the dungeon, so thanks again. Doctor says any damage I took will heal itself soon. What are you up to? Don't know. Doesn't matter. Want lunch? Should probably eat. I'll be at Kix. And Valeria. Mind meeting again? I'll explain some things. Please? Sure. Here's a hint on where to find me. Thanks. All right. And then we also had a date at the mansion to do. Okay, I guess we didn't need the hint. So there's kind of an overworld here. So this is, I tend to notice I spend a lot of time in my room, maybe because that's exactly what I'm like. I do like little things like Capulet Beach in Verona, Fair Verona. Brooks Associates, so this would be for our fencing lesson with Isaac. There's Pacific Apart, that will be where we meet Valeria, the dagger. Kix Cafe. This is someone we just found, so the level with the weapon is 0. But I really want to see what's going on with his mansion. You arrive just as a hearse drives away. It seems someone died. A young person stares down the street after it.
Goodbye. Until next time, Alice. Farewell.
Who's Alice?
Don't talk about her. You didn't know her. Oh, it's you. Huh. Why did you come here?
You know me?
Never mind that right now. Answer me. Why did you come here?
Just exploring the town. They pursed their lips, eyes dark.
No, I meant Verona Beach. You're the cause of all this, you know. The monsters, the universe thrown out of balance. If it weren't for you, maybe Alice would still be alive.
Their shape begins to change.
Maybe I should just end you and see if status quo returns.
They seem serious. This seems like an important decision. Your life is on the line. Wait, don't, please!
Weak of will, like prey.
The scythe moves closer to you, as if enticed by your vulnerable pleading. There's a moment of silence as a breeze passes between you.
Fine, I can't just kill a random person I just met. I guess. Even you.
Pretty human.
Hush.
Uncertainty passes over their features.
So, why did you come to Verona Beach?
Who even are you?
I'm Rowan. My threat wasn't personal, I assure you. But I suppose I would also feel angry in your situation. Though with the way you pleaded for your life, I thought you'd be a, what's the word in common parlance? A doormat. Oh well. The reason you came to Verona Beach doesn't particularly matter. My grandmother is gone either way, and you're here now. We'll have to survive somehow, in spite of your chaos.
Survive?
You know, dungeons everywhere, creatures running amok. Someone's violating the laws of nature. There's a wrongness, rippling. You've been seeing weapons damaged, haven't you? It's a pattern of evil intent. Only a witch of very high caliber can hope to make things right again. And I should get back to it. That's what Alice would have wanted.
Who's Alice? They don't acknowledge your question and turn away.
Goodbye.
So one of the things that's interesting here about Rowan is this is the first weapon that we've encountered that wasn't damaged in the Dunj. Well, I guess Isaac would be the other one as well. So obviously I gave the introduction of saying that we've met all of the people inside the Dunj, but it's interesting. They disappear into the house, leaving you alone on the street. All right, so I don't think there's anything else on the phone for us to do. So as much as I'd like to go back to the dungeon, let's try and follow some other leads. So I suppose I could double down. So there's one of two possibilities I could see. We can double down and try and level up Isaac even further. Or we can do... I mean, I'm guessing we probably have 7 as an option inside of the dungeon anyway. Yeah, you know what? We'll knock down a few of these dates and then just go into the dungeon. You see 7 sitting alone, poking at his phone. Oh, it's you.
Hey.
Hey. 7 puts away his phone and looks at you expectantly. So, there's an awkward silence. So, what's your favorite Blade Generation album? Never heard of Blade Generation. 7 smiles, as if at a joke.
Oh.
Wait, you're serious? Oh. Blade Generation is my band, from Korea. Double platinum, no big deal. You don't listen to a lot of music, I guess. Too busy? Do you want watch net TV? Monster killing takes time. Yeah, maybe it'll take less time as you get better. Oh well, since you don't know Blade Generation, I guess you don't need an autograph. Would you like to offer a gift? No, we don't know what this Blade's into. We decide not to give a gift right now. So we're done here then. That was Sword Life. Sword Life? I guess as a wielder, that's your main interest. Well, in Blade Generation, I'm the maknae of the group. My agent doesn't want my sword side to be public knowledge. Makes me seem less cute. Takes a sip from his coffee and makes a face. Something wrong? Yeah, I mean, not really, but I used the wrong milk. What kind? I asked for oat, but I'm not going to complain, that's for sure. Not my kind of thing.
What?
Wait, why is she coming over here? Shit! Cover me. The cashier approaches your table nervously. Hey, sorry to bother you, but you're Seven from Blade Generation, aren't you? I'm Olivia. Seven looks at you and shakes his head slightly. There's a slight panic in his eyes. What's up, Midori? Why the cursing? It's not his real name.
Mm-hmm.
Well, duh. Any real fan knows that. Wait, that means...
Oh my god! Oh my god, oh my god! Blade Generation is in Verona! Huh?
And even Sungwoo is here too? Seven's face closes, becoming carefully blank. Olivia rushes away, typing on her phone excitedly. You okay?
Yeah.
Whatever. Can't come here anymore, I guess. I wish you hadn't said that, but...
Later.
I guess there's still the Dunj if you want to. The monsters won't bring paparazzi. Alright, so this thing gives us Chain Lightning. When finishing a combo, an energy bolt damages a nearby enemy from the first enemy hit. Oh, that might be pretty good, actually. Seven slouches out, met by an expensive-looking car outside. You head home. You find a scrap of paper that has been slipped into your window from the outside. I'm guessing this is from Rowan? I don't think I have anything that acts like a mirror. Like Cultus and Sylvia's doing that fun thing where she keeps failing to destroy evidence. Oh. So what weirds me out about this a little bit is you've got like the 2 here, but this 2 is right side up. Like there's a few that are right side up. So 2407, 5536. Oh, hang on. It might be alternating. So right side up, upside down. 0 is hard to tell, but no, this is right side up, so that doesn't work. Upside down, right side up, right side up, right side up. Well, okay. Right side up, upside down. Let's say both right side up. Upside down. 3. The 8 might be... Well, this one looks like it's a right side up. Yeah. 845724L. Okay, I can't break the cipher. Paper is thick and strong as if torn from an old book. There's a series of numbers and markings on it. Some are upside down. Okay, can't be an IP address. There's no way that's a Dewey Decimal number. GPS coordinates might be interesting. I actually want to double check something on Dewey Decimal. Yeah, there's no way that could be... I don't see... Okay, so like the rotation cipher doesn't explain why things are upside down. Like that's just a substitution. Or a system of substitution. But I don't remember the level of precision for GPS coordinates. The number of dots really weirds me out, but... I think I know how I can find an example. Experimental farm. Yeah, so the problem with that one is the 2 digits before the dots. I don't know. We try looking up the numbers as a book classification in a few configurations. You must return no results until you do get 1 hit. First 6 numbers give you a title called Surprising Mystics from 1955. You study it for a while, but aren't sure how to use this information helpfully. You set the puzzle aside for now, itching for a more physical challenge. Looks like another beautiful California day outside. So I guess the question is, do I want to... Oh. Never going to kicks again, so I hope you have other ideas. Beach? Yeah, I don't know. I'll think about it and get back to you. All right. So yeah, the decision I need to make is, do I want to try and do these other dates? So I guess the question is, basically the question comes down to, do I want to try and do like a quick run in the Dunj to just level up 7? Or do I want to give myself some options for a longer Dunj run with, Isaac and Valeria and such? Well, if we only have like 3, I think. I want to go back to Paradise Lost. Yeah, you know what? I'll clear out the dates. I don't think they're that long, unless I monologue.
Well, hello.
You seem to be getting the hang of parrying, so today we'll try the riposte. After a parry, a riposte lets you thrust in return. He glances at the door, then back at you. Here, it's easier if I show you. Go ahead and attack me. Lunge. Isaac deflects easily. You lean straight into his foil, pressing into your shoulder. The more aggressive the attack, the more vicious the riposte. A riposte returns the attacker's energy back upon them. Isaac glances at the clock. Here, I'll attack you, parry, and then step forward and attack immediately. You okay? No, yes. Yes, I think so. I don't know. You were very perceptive. I'm sorry, I'm distracted indeed. He takes off his gear and pours some refreshments. My father has finished a hostile takeover of my firm. He bought a majority and discredited me with the board. So my time is just about over at Brooks Associates. I only have today and tomorrow. This is true. I try not to care what he thinks. He's a foolish, close-minded old man. Also, I don't know if it was properly crediting you for your sub in chat, or if it just, like, you're using the emote now, so... if you subbed and it didn't give you your proper alert, I apologize. But I think you were already subbed, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, I try not to care what he thinks. He's a foolish, close-minded old man. I've officially disowned him and cut off contact. But now I'm going to lose everything I've built here because of him. How can I not care? Be proud of what you did.
Right.
I know, I am proud, I promise. I tell myself that all the time. But I'm really glad I talked to you. I'm sorry to burden you. Cool, so this is some extra levels we can move up, and we have either Concentrate, Reduced Charge Time for Heavy Attacks. I probably want that one. Or Directeur, Wider Finisher Damage Area. You know what, actually let's try the Directeur first. 5 minutes ago, huh? So you didn't get the alert, huh? I'm sorry. I don't think I have the ability to replay those anymore. Let me just see. All right. Emotes in the chat for you. I'm sorry, Midori. That's a lame kind of substitute, but that's what I got. I guess this is our last time fencing in this office. Tomorrow's my last day. I sold my stock. I'll be comfortable while I sort out what to do next. It'll be a bit like starting over. I've lost so much. I keep trying to focus on fencing, but it's not working. Maybe I should give up for the day. But first, tell me, do you think I could make it as a professional sword? I I mean, I could be an épée full-time for hire. Or am I lunging to conclusions? What about making a difference? I tried, didn't I? I put my heart and soul into improving wealth equality. Maybe everything is a waste of time anyway. Spooky noise melting. Oh, yeah, I guess. Oh man, Midori. Man, that's extra embarrassing then that didn't work for you. Man, I'm sorry. I really don't know what happened there. There've been a couple times people have raided as well, and the alert doesn't come up. So I've also actually noticed a few follows come in, and they don't always come up. So I'm gonna double check Streamlabs at the end of the stream. But thank you very much, Midori. Obviously, I'm really happy to see you again. But dropping subs left and right, it seems. So thank you very much. Without this firm, what was even the point of the last 10 years? Don't answer that. I'm sorry. I'm becoming maudlin. You've been a good listener. Would you like to offer a gift? Yes. Mike Taylor will adore me for using these. Thank you. I suppose this is good night for now. Thank you for your companionship. You head home. Your eyes happen on that weird slip of paper from the other day. You wonder if maybe it's somehow a phone number. Could be. You pull out your phone and enter a... Well, if it's a phone number, I would assume the 3 starts, so... Oh, man. I'm already wrong. I would have thought it would be 4. Crap. So let's go for the upside down ones then. Well, that would be a 7 then if I followed that. Drat. Try theory. After entering 7 digits, it rings. Oh, fair enough. Solve your riddle. You have the wrong number, dude. They hang up on you. Decide to try again tomorrow. Oh man, this one's gonna be a tricky one. Oh. I promise nothing untoward happened, but I've been dreaming about you. Zombie dreams? Heavens no. Do you get those? I hope not. You're healing broken weapons of all kinds. Me too. It was lovely. You're a comfort to me, even when I'm asleep. Thank you. All right. So I think we have Sunder and Valeria, and then I'm assuming at that point the phone will probably give us a few more things to do, but I'm going to go to the Dunj. This is just a chance for me to level up some more weapons.
Hey.
You find Sunder and Mandy sitting on a dune. Sunder appears to be drinking. Woo! We celebrating?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, being alive is the best, right? I wouldn't recommend it. You know, most people are dead statistically. That's a lot of people. Really, a lot. Sometimes I try to calculate the number of ghosts there should be. Even if 1% of the people had unfinished business, that'd be millions of ghosts. All kinds of ghosts. Sultans, schoolgirls, fashion designers, farmers, everyone. Yeah, we have expert like at this point we can no longer do we can't just do those casual salutes. We actually need to pass muster, or we're gonna hear it. Are you really trying to be more goth than me?
Nah.
No, I'm being really anti-goth right now, Andy. Keep up. I'm saying living is like the VIP section of the universe. Why all this death stuff? Why not? It's all around us. It's what being alive means, right? Dying? What about books and mountains? They're not alive. But they're way better than people. I'm liking Mandy more and more. What about you, Alfred? Do you think about death often? Spend time chatting, looking out over the moonlit ocean. Eventually, there's a silence and Mandy clears her throat. I'm getting hungry. You must be too, Sunder. How about a snack? Mandy looks at you curiously. What kind of food? I like my food fresh and locally sourced. Verona Beach has a few options. So, we know Sunder's, at this point, you know, maybe fair warning, spoilers and whatnot. We know Sunder's a vampire. I'm assuming Mandy is as well. I was wondering what the necklace might mean. You give it your best shot. The military isn't your expertise. Making cocktails out of it.
Hey!
Cut it out, Mandy. What? You haven't told poor Alfred about our little hobby? What hobby? Ugh, Mandy, just go home if you're feeling antsy. Suit yourself. Just don't stay out too late. Sun comes up fast in summer. Mandy slinks away into the evening. Sunder glares after her. Sunder sighs, apparently at a loss for words. What was that about?
Nah.
I don't want to talk about it. Not right now. A cold breeze comes from the ocean, chilly against your skin. Well, I do. He pointedly ignores what you said and instead rubs your arms gently. Hey, hands off. Sunder's hands aren't any warmer. The friction helps relax you a little. He takes off his jacket and settles around in your shoulders. Man, I am an utter failure as a man. Cool shades. Here, I also got you a little gift. Always wake up too late to use them. Thanks. Guess I still have some things I'm not ready to talk about. It's not like we're in a relationship anyway, right? Just friends, so... It looks like he started to shiver. Let's just forget about this and I'll walk you home where it's warm. You walk together through Verona Beach until you arrive at your building. Sounds like Midori is very close to the third card. You give him his jacket back, and he puts it back on gratefully. I know you're probably furious with me right now, but just listen for a second, okay? Before Mandy ran her mouth, I had so much fun with you tonight. Usually around now, I get the summertime blues, but with you, I feel so alive. Okay, deep cut bleeding does more damage. Oh, cool. So finishers cause enemy to bleed. Yeah, dance floor is definitely the one I want there. Like, all my dark thoughts don't weigh me down. And honestly, I don't want to go back to my lonely apartment. It's like a crypt. I know you said you weren't interested in me that way, but I'd kick myself if I didn't ask. Can I come up? I said we're just friends. I must have gotten carried away. Oops, naughty me. Night hotness. Sorry, slipped up. I'm bad at this. Night, friend person. He saunters into the night and you climb the stairs home. Your eyes happen on the weird slip of paper again. You still wonder if it could be a phone number. You pull out your phone and enter a... So let's go by... Okay, so how many upside downs have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I don't think it should be... I don't think it should be only the upside down ones, but let's check it out. So we've got... 4, 5. Try theory. After entering 7 digits, it rings. Hello? Solved your riddle. Wrong number. Hang up on you. Decide to try again tomorrow. Man, I don't think I'm ever going to figure this one out. I just wanted to say, you're cooler the more I get to know you. Even when I make you mad. So thanks. You too. Let's Dunj. Okay, so I think it's just Valeria at this point. I guess if I wanted, I could buy some of the parts that I need. Oh, that's right. This is the movie theater. Looks like the Los Angeles Ballet Company has come to town. Right. Okay. Holy Energy was one item I needed. Oops. Let's take a second here before I go crazy with money. So we need fabric and some variation on glue. Some of which we may find in the Dunj, because we're still relatively early in. Welcome! Okay, $10 for glue. Oh, I didn't see how many I needed of everything. Let me know if I can help. You're fine. I gotta... Thank you. Okay. I gotta come up with a shopping list. Okay, 2 fabric, 1 glue, 7 fabric, 2 glue. Holds things together with love. Glass is the evolved form of sand, and plastic's a modern miracle. Oh, actually, Midori Musha. I realize this isn't a Navy question, but you're closer to this than anything I can appreciate. Why does Space Force have the universal camo pattern as their uniform? Is there something about space I don't know? Well, there's a lot about space that I don't know. Oh, Alfred, find time in your busy love life to stop by? Why did I come in here? Oh, here we go. Sugar, the basis of all food. Probably. I like that description. Buy something if you like, or not. Whatever, I guess. So this, I'm curious if there's arbitrage here. I mean, it's designed, right? So I'm going to assume... So if so 1 fabric turns into 3 plastic, 3 plastic turns into 1 steel. But it seems to me like the steel, okay. Text you later. I'm sure you will. Well, let's make what we needed before. So, fox hood. Glitter eyeshadow. Okay, so we need 5 steel for knight armor. Oh, did I didn't buy enough glue. Okay, 5 steel, 1 glue. Camo uniforms have been standardized across the armed forces due to near war with North Korea. Fair. I guess, yeah, the more I think of it, like, I've always seen the dress uniforms for... Like, when I think of the Navy, I tend to see more dress uniform than anything else. Even Navy no longer wears ocean camo. They wear woodland now, too. Interesting. No, I don't want to go there yet. So fabric costs 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll get a blue while we're here. Well, I'd always understood the purpose of camo was basically to just disrupt the outline. So, like, I don't really think... I don't think it's so much that people mistake people for trees so much as they're just not able to distinguish them from... Well, I guess it's one and the same, but... Actually, it may also be that they don't use ECP anymore. That might have been phased out. But obviously, I'm not immediately familiar the same way that somebody who's just been through basic training would know it. Okay, so basically the intuition I have here is we convert the plastic. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we just save 15 we just saved 15 on our steel costs. Text you later. So, I guess the question is, do I want to get the Kigurumi? What have I got cash-wise? Actually, first of all, Fashion Zine creates a decoy. Ooh, that might be a good one. Why do British tanks have tea-making stations inside Cured Charlie? I mean, other than the fact that the British apparently really like their tea. I'm just enjoying my green tea still. Okay. So holy energy is 100. That's almost going to wipe me out, but what else am I going to use the money for, right? So... I forgot how much fabric I need though, so shame on me. 4. Again, some of this we might have been able to pick up from the Dunj anyway, but thank you. Neat. The time Germans stole British tank designs, figured out the weaknesses, and then British spies stole those notes and improved the tanks using German notes. So what you're saying is you all want to see a Command Modern Operations stream at some point. The best jacket, don't at me. You may not like it, but this is what the ideal body looks like for business synergy stockholder stuff. God, I really like some of these descriptions. Maybe Senpai will notice me. Bomber jacket made of 69% nylon, nice, 31% cotton. Polka dots are quaking right now. So I was just wondering whether or not you'd get like a bonus for wearing the armor. I'm keeping this bucket hat. I don't care if it says not ugly, just shine. Well, as you know, us Brits do love our tea, but on day during, I believe, World War II, a British tank regiment stopped to have a brew, ended up missing a battle, which you lost. The Boffins back home put stations inside so they would never have to stop again. That's ridiculous. Cool shades, best worn at night. Oh, hang on. Enemies bleed when they damage you, so they do. Oh, am I looking in the wrong spot? Okay, none of these outfits will affect things. But so bike helmet lets me carry more beverages, but fewer zines. That's almost certain. I promised Mom I'd be safe. Beverage heals more. Achoo. Uh-oh. So that was also Isaac's gift to us. Bowler hat, carry more zines, but fewer beverages. Cap, exit shows in the mini-map. Cool shades, enemies bleed when they damage you. Cultist Miter doubles all damage. I am a sacrifice on the altar of fashion. Foxhood, exit shows in the minimap. Turban, yeah, I rap. And headscarf, looking good, Abibis. All right. So yeah, I guess the question is, do I want my beverages to heal more, or... No, you know what? We'll do the blue flower. I look pretty. So now I gotta ask what battle that was. Okay. Oh, and I don't remember if the gym... I think the gym just re-specs. Yeah, I'm fine for that. Sorry, I know I'm not going as deep into the story stuff as I was last time. Let's try and get back in the mood. All right, Valeria is sitting on the park bench, glaring at the nearby ducks. Her expression softens as she sees you.
Hey.
Oh, hey, you came. I'm really glad. I wasn't sure if you would after how things ended. I asked you to go home with me for all the wrong reasons. I hope I haven't ruined anything. I wish I'd been, I don't know. Wrong reasons?
Huh?
It's all a bit complicated. I could talk about it, but the sound of a loud quacking interrupts her. Shut up, ducks! Can you believe that noise? I hope you're not one of those people that feeds ducks at the park. I'm not. Good! I hate their beady little eyes. Don't get me started on those snapping bills. A friend of mine lost a finger to a duck, got too close with a piece of bread, and then Valeria snaps her fingers. Gone. Just like that. Is that true? Larry's lips twist into a rueful grimace, and then she sighs. Do tell, Kieran Charlie. Okay, I may be exaggerated, but only a little. Promise not to laugh? It didn't happen to a friend. It was me. Valeria holds up a hand, showing you a faint scar on her index finger. It's only a scratch. Well, that's what it looks like now, but at the time, geysers of blood, fountains. It was a crime scene. You could even say that it was a foul deed. She looks mortified and groans out loud. Let's just pretend I never said that, okay? Oh no, we recorded it, and we'll be posting the remix version on TikTok. Would you like to offer a gift? Well, I'm guessing the gold chain is... Oh, thank you. Really? I guess it feels okay to just be silly around you. I feel like I can be myself. Surprise! I'm a huge dork. Oh yeah, I guess I just wasted all of that on the locked level. I like it. Good, because it's not likely to change anytime soon. And I hate pretending to be someone I'm not. Next time, we'll go on a date without the risk of duck. Okay, backstab. Attacks do critical damage to confused enemies. So, escape enemies nearby get confused when you roll out of sight. But we were talking about something actually important before. Right, I remember. I was going to awkwardly explain Jake. You don't have to. No, but I want to. So that guy, right, who keeps showing up? His name is Jake. I dated him for a couple years. I dated his sister as well. At the same time, I mean. They both knew. I barely dated anyone. Dating's the one thing where experience doesn't always make you better. You can trust me on that. I was young and in love, and I thought we'd be together forever. Jake and Jessica and me, 3 artists against the world. We were everything to each other. We had the same goals, believed in the same things. And then, greed and pride and ambition got in the way, as they usually do. Jessica wanted more recognition, more adventure, more everything. I wanted things to stay as they were, which was foolish. Nothing stays the same. I moved to Verona Beach looking for a fresh start, and Jake followed me. I know you haven't had the best impression of him, but he's a good person, really. He's in love with you.
Huh.
Maybe a little. We were together for a long time. Is that so strange? I think I always loved Jessica a little bit more. That's terrible, isn't it? That happens. I'm trying to make up for it now by being a good friend. As for Jake, I don't love him anymore. Not in that way. But still, we have some business together, I suppose you could say. Look, I know Jake's been a bit of an idiot, following us around and all. I'll talk to him about it. Get him to back off, for real this time. Anyway, enough about my drama. I got you a little gift. Here. A beret! Saw it in the museum gift shop and thought of you. Thanks. You don't have to wear it, but you'll look dashing if you do, I'm sure. But you know, I'd love you to show you my work sometime. You know, my paintings if you wanted. Sure. That's a date. I've had new inspiration lately.
Ciao.
Look forward to seeing what you think next time. You have a lot to think about. As you leave, the afternoon light fades into evening. You wake up dreading the weird slip of paper. You stare at it sleepily for a few moments, wondering what to do. So I can try. I don't know. What do you feel, chat? Should I try and crack this myself, or should I post it online? Actually, tell you what. You can tell me what you think. I'm gonna probably try once more anyway, but I am gonna get a notepad and I'm gonna actually write it out for myself and see if I can make some sense. So I wish I could show you my tablet, but I'm basically just writing this all down. See if I can get some thoughts looking at it myself. Okay. By the way, Cured Charlie, feel free to share that story about the corpse winning a war. Unless I've got chat problems and you've been telling me and I haven't seen it. Okay, so we've got 2, an upside down 4. You know what? I'll write it as is first. 0, which could be one or the other, then a 7. Upside down 5 is shockingly difficult for me to draw upside down. 5, 5, 3, 6, 8, 4, upside down 5, 7, upside down 2. That is not, if anything, that's an S that I just made. Let's try that again. 4, 7. I always draw my 7 with the lines in the middle. Oh, chat problems? I'm sorry. Yeah, so the last thing that I saw in chat was actually, I know of another thing when a corpse won us the war. So if anybody wrote anything after that, it looks like I didn't see any messages. So I apologize. Every once in a while my chat goes kind of quiet, and it could just be because things are quiet, which I'm totally fine with. But I don't want people to feel like I don't want people to feel like they're being ignored. That does sometimes happen with Twitch, but normally it gives you a warning if the message is too long. But yeah, feel free to break it up into paragraphs if you want. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do here is I'm actually just going to try writing it out with all the all the numbers right side up. 3, 6. Dot 8, 4, 5, 7. Dot 2, 4, 7. And then I'm going to just do a little star above the ones that are upside down. That doesn't necessarily mean that they get any special treatment. But I just want to have some kind of a marker. Okay, so let's get some basic facts about this. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 upside down numbers. I believe it asks us about 4. We've got 207, 536, 847, and then 4 on its own. Oh, this is an interesting idea. So if it's 4 different numbers, what if it's the one that's the odd number out? So like we could do 4, 5, 5, 4. I don't think it would let me do that though. We could try it in reverse. So if I took this paper and put it upside down, my tablet's helping by putting it the right side up. Setting it upside down, we would have 7, 7, 4, 2, 7, 5, 4, 8, 6, 3, 5, 5, 7, 4, 2. And then it would be 4, 5, 5, 4. I don't think either of those work for the pattern. So next thing I'm going to have to do is write down the trees, like the branches that I go down. So the other thing I could look at would be indices. So we'll put 2 at position 0, 4 at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 4 is in position 1. Well, that's interesting. So 5 is in position 4. And 5's in position 10, so that breaks any pattern I saw there. And then the last one's in position 12. And then, of course, if you don't start your indices at 1, then it becomes, 2, 6, 11, 13. What about spaces between the two? So 1 space between 2 and 4, 2 spaces between 4 and 5, but then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces between 5 and 5 and 5, and then 1 space between 5 and 2, and 1 space between 2 and 7. That still doesn't really work. It did work here. So if you want the full story, Google Operation Mincemeat. But the abridged version is: the British Welsh sent a dead homeless man dressed in a high-ranking, I think, officer's clothes, and made him wash up on the shores of Spain with classified information on where they were storming a beach. If you want to know about the... Oh, sorry, yeah, you did. Sorry, the full story message came through twice. In fact, these documents were fake, and so the identity of this quote-unquote officer, which led to Hitler himself believing that the Allies were going to invade Italy when you were actually invading Greece. So they sent most of their forces from Greece to Italy, which allowed us to take over easily. Yes, it did work this time. That's a neat story. I have a couple of fun anecdotes from World War II, but nothing really to compare to those. Although I'm not cut out for Bletchley Park based on how I'm performing with this one. Okay, what else can I try and extract out of this? Well, I suppose I could go for sort of position within the clusters. So, position 1 for 4, position 0 for the 5, position 2 for the 5, and then I guess it would technically be position 1 for the 4. And the problem with that is none of that allows for things like 7s and whatnot. Okay, so I'm not entirely sure me staring at this is giving me what I need to know. So I'm going to say one more try. I don't think there was any preference expressed in chat for for me trying this thing out. So let's do one more try. And what I particularly want to take note of, you pull out your phone and enter A. So tier 1. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4. I do know about the balloon arm. Actually, I didn't know. I wasn't sure if all of it was inflatable, but yes, I do know about the inflatable army to cover the preparations for D-Day. I was gonna mention that one, but it's I kind of guessed Cured Charlie would probably be familiar with it. So. Although I really like that story. Okay, so what would the logic... So what I want to do now is I would say, what is the logic that I want to apply for this series of numbers? So I could say the first upside down number is 4. I could also say the only right side up number on the right-hand side would be 4. Oh, you know what? The crazy thing is that this could even be like how many digits are within a single cluster as well. Anyways, I'm gonna pick for. I'm gonna call this attempt A. Damn it! I have literally infinite space. Okay, maybe not literally infinite space because computers are finite. But you know, I have absolutely no cost for using additional space, and I still have the most cramped handwriting. Oh, okay, yeah. So some of them were wood. It's more fun to talk about inflatable tanks, though. It's actually a small plot point that comes up in We Happy Few to go back to that CMF stuff. Okay. So I'm going to start with 4 just because I can sort of justify it in 2 different ways. Then A. So option number 2 is 0, 5, 6, 7. So what logic would I apply? Oh, this is interesting. So on both sides, you would justify a 5 going from left to right or right to left. So, following that logic. Okay, then A, so we could do a 3, 5, 7, 9. You try a theory after entering 7 digits. Oh, so it's 3 numbers. So why did I think it was 4? Okay. After entering 7 digits, it rings. Hello? Solved your riddle. They hang up on you. It must have been a wrong number. Okay. So, so reading left to right, right to left doesn't work out for me. You just remember the time when America got like 2 battleships and a whole bunch of tanks, planes, Humvees cut down by a tree. Do you know that one? It was either in Korea or Vietnam, but you think it was Vietnam. Oh, sorry, 2 cut down a tree, not cut down by a tree. I'm like, what? Okay, so let me see. So if my options are 1, 2, 3, 4, there's no real argument for... 5, 6, 7, 3, 5, 7, 9. Huh. Okay. It says you feel... Okay, it also said something about feeling close. Lots of messages. Sunder. We're just friends, so... Is that too much? Yeah. Okay. I mean, let's face it, a heart is not, that's not beyond the pale, but he's been pushing the line quite a bit, so. They sent 3 guys with an axe or a chainsaw to cut down trees so they could see something better, and all the men got shot by a sniper, so they made sure that fair enough. All right, before you come over, I gotta clean. I mean, it won't be clean, but I'm not a nun. But this muffin from 2016 needs to be evicted. We'll let you know when its smell is gone too. In the meantime, I found some cool art by the mall. Did you see this? Looks cool. Maybe we can check it out together sometime. All right. On our way to the dungeon. I am close to the end, so this might be our last run for tonight, depending on how long it takes. And of course, like I said, I haven't quite engaged with the game the same way that I did originally, but that's not sort of due to a shifting perception of the game. I kind of feel like for a certain period of time I was just getting reacquainted. So I think this is going to be the Friday game till we wrap up the story. That'll give me a little time to refresh, and I kind of have some ideas about what the next one's going to be, but I know we're going to have some interruptions in terms of the broadcast schedule for a little while, so let's start with 7. Tell you what, because it's the last one, I'm actually going to go from level 1 again. I'll take this as an opportunity to really level everything up. Which floor would you like to go to? So we can go all the way to 11 now. Get in the elevator. Going down. Rona Mall, fear of change.
Malls on this continent are so low tech.
Oh man. I gotta remember to do that finisher like every time. Done already? That was pretty smooth. So I probably think that ability is a lot more powerful than it actually is because I'm using it on very low level enemies. But obviously running through the dungeon like this will give me a chance to replenish my stocks. And it'll also let me check out how, it'll let me get some levels. Hey, North American arcades are kind of funny. They're so old and chill. Nobody's trying to be a pro. Could play co-op.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I heard Moonhunters. This Moonhunters one is pretty good. Never found the moon, though. You be the shapeshifty druid, and I'll be the swordsman this time. Ha! Spend some time beating up pixel monsters and collecting loot. 7 runs over and resurrects... 7 runs over and resurrects you each time your character falls. It's a good thing you're more careful in real life than in the game. Look up DMC Gardening Job if you want to read that story. I'm definitely going to check out some... Thank you for sharing all this, guys. I actually really like reading this stuff. 7 smiles, wiping sweat from his eyes. Would you like to offer a gift? Let's see... I don't know if the glitter eyeshadow quite makes sense. I don't quite know 7's likes yet. Decide not to give a gift right now. Winning's hard work, unless we work together. What have I missed on this map? Okay, pretty direct path. I'm trying to remember if I've misgendered a couple of the characters. I know there's, I think, a couple that I did from the promotional material, so I'm trying to avoid that in the descriptions, but I also realize that sort of subtle stuff can be a problem, so my apologies if I've done that. I gotta play Moon Hunters again. Oh man, I probably get the most frustrated at myself whenever I take an easy hit. It's easy enough to recover the health, but vending machine offers several choices. Let's not buy anything. I actually want to raise. Check this place out. It looks different. Oh, I remember this mall now. I've been here before. I've been living in Seoul since I was 8, but I still have some memories. Growing up in VB, this fountain was my favorite. We didn't have money to shop with, but I would take off my shoes and play. I miss that. Just being a kid, you know? No worrying about how you look. I guess that's stupid to think about. You can never go back. Take off your shoes. Play.
What?
You splash them with the water.
Nuh-uh.
Stop! Stop. Thanks. I appreciate the sentiment, but not right now. I'm done here. Can we go? So, like, there's a bit of a revelation in terms of personality. The teddy bear might be appropriate. But let's try and get a little more intel on their needs. Okay, so I've already maxed out 7, so we'll change it up. I think here, you know, well, I'm gonna save Isaac for the end because things are only gonna get more difficult. Now the funny thing is that I actually felt like I did better with Valeria than I did Sunder, but then Sunder was also during the harder levels, so I am gonna do Valeria again. And that's just because I haven't quite gotten the sneaky business down. There we go. Okay, I know how I'm doing this. Well, when it's necessary. It's kind of interesting that the AI curses for me. Every time I'm ready to say damn, it says it for me. Apparently I can't hit stationary targets. We have time for a little self-indulgence, right? You sit in the massage chairs. They begin to vibrate and knead your back. Too soon it's over. You feel more relaxed. Valeria stretches with a happy groan. Do you think the monsters use massage chairs to relax when they're not fighting? Probably not. She nods, suddenly extremely serious. All those weird vertebrae need special massage expertise, I'm sure. Until we chop them up. Let's go. Shiny. Okay. I said I knew what I wanted to do, and I've totally failed to deliver. So basically I got to do a combo of roll and then hit for the crits. Fortunately, I have crate coffee to get me through the day. Into the loot sack. Ah. So not the best application of the confusion, but I think I'm starting to pick up on some of the lessons. Okay, did we cover? If we didn't, the level's a little too big for the screen, so. That's right. You know what? I'm gonna take on the boss. Okay, first of all, can we confuse it? No, apparently not. A racing game recipe. Check it out on your workbench. It's a tough one to say whether or not Seven would like that, because while he seemed to indicate an enjoyment of gaming, the co-op was the one that worked well. If I have a little more money, we'll go to the monster shop, but for now we'll live with what we got. I wouldn't mind taking a breather. Ice cream. Want some? It'll be my treat. Choco fudge. Ooh, maybe I should indulge too. Tastes like summer. Or at least the idea of summer. Summer here in Verona Beach is a bit too much. If we were outside, this would probably melt before we could even eat it. What would your ideal summer vacation be? You finish your ice creams debating on the best place to spend a summer. I guess we gotta get back to work. I can feel the sugar rush coming on. So one thing I kind of like about these, sometimes the dialogue options I sort of feel, every once in a while, I sort of wonder, like, what's the thing the character wants to hear? One thing I kind of like, though, is there are very few times I felt that when it's not a situation of, like, trying to console someone. And it's really interesting, right? So if you think, like, so let me put it to you this way. Suppose that encounter went like this. You know, instead of talking about how you debate about the ideal location to spend the summer, the game gives you an option of saying, you know, you have three options, and, you know, you kind of know that a level up with the weapon is at stake. One of the problems with that as a dialogue option is that as a player, you're gonna want to level up your weapon, right? It makes sense that you see the numbers go up. And yet what you're doing is you're building a relationship with someone. And again, you know, the nature of that relationship is kind of left to you, the player, because it can be a platonic relationship, which is what I've pursued so far with the weapons. Or it could be a romantic relationship. But one way or the other, it gives you this very Machiavellian kind of view of your companions, in the sense that, you know, you're gonna try and game it out and see what they want to hear, and you'll present yourself as somebody that you're not, which, you know, again, like like as a game, it's like you're just achieving the goal. It's a little bit like, you know, when you play Grand Theft Auto, somebody who doesn't play games is going to look at that and be like, okay, so my kid is a serial killer in training. But to you or I, that game is just, you know, a series of sort of a series of challenges that we're overcoming. But what is kind of interesting here is, you know, we didn't get that option. We didn't say, you know, oh, well, I think this is the best place to go on vacation because I think this is what you want to hear. It just simply says that we had a conversation on it, you know, as you sort of would with a friend or a date. And what's interesting is when you do think about what is something that somebody would like is when you're giving gifts. or again, when you're consoling them. In each of these cases, it's an expression of care. It's an effort to sort of show that you understand someone and do something that makes them feel good, right? I don't necessarily think people feel like they're being manipulated when they're given the perfect gift. I mean, it can, depending on the context, it can be. But for the most part, gift giving in this game is a little bit like it is inside of the real world, which is you have an idea of who this person is and you want to ideally express something of yourself as well as what you think of that person through the giving of a gift. So I don't know, like I might be reading a little bit too much into it. I don't know how intentional this is on Boyfriend Dungeon. But again, like you've got this great hooky concept, dating your weapons. You've got all of the elements that you would of a visual novel or a dating sim, depending on how much you like those kinds of games. I know, and like obviously the representation, like I know some people didn't like, non-binary characters being in the game, and I think some people might be uncomfortable with the idea of, dating outside of their preferences. I think the game has handled it pretty well in the sense that you kind of choose what your engagement is. And to a certain extent, like, I'm not entirely sure you want to appeal to people who kind of take an exclusionary view. Like, if unless your game only represents, the ideals that I have, I'm not going to play it. It seems to me the right answer to that is, well, then perhaps you should find something that's a little more for you, because I'm not entirely sure shutting other people out of the game is quite the right attitude to have. But on top of all of that, I think there's some interesting choices just in terms of specifically the moments in which you try to advance the relationship. Again, whatever that relationship might be inside of the game. And they, I don't know, at least to me, they kind of ring true to the sort of thing that seems right. Like, again, you don't, ideally, you're not presenting yourself as someone that you're not. And the opportunities to build the relationship are ones that require a bit of understanding on your part, or just simply spending time together. So, like I said, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but I think it's really interesting how that's turned out in the game. I'm not sure why that one didn't cause a confusion, but finally, nicely done. Now I can use a drink. Monsters put this here? My fears manifest in the form of money, too, so when it's Christmas time, you need to spend a little extra on gifts, just put me in a room and scare me. Finally, a monster-free zone. Reminiscent of Steinlen, but even more poppy and mainstream. Probably just a lazy knockoff. It's possible that it's possible the artist is knowingly commenting on the commercial placement. It'd be nice if the piece were both pretty and honest. They're both important components, wouldn't you say? In art, of course. Both are essential. You're just agreeing with me, coward. You and me, we're doomed if you're a liar, even just as friends. Guess we'll find out sooner or later, huh? Yeah, not so sure. So I suppose that's an example where you could potentially give the answer that you think they're looking for and they call you out on it. I mean, in my case, I was just thinking, sure, why not? That's probably the right and consistent thing to say, but it's possibly the game just invalidated the thing that I just said, which would not be the first time that that's happened. In fact, probably not the first time that's happened in Boyfriend Dungeon, so that's what I get for pontificating. You know, the funny thing is that I feel like a lot of, with the dagger, like all heavy attacks isn't necessarily a bad, Jesus. Isn't necessarily a bad way to go. Dark Eyeliner. We could have snuck past. So you can see I'm already sort of, even on floor 7, I'm already really slipping in terms of my avoiding damage. Finally, a monster-free zone. So let's see what the other dialogue option gives us. I have time for a little self-indulgence, right? Too soon, it's over. You feel more relaxed. Valeria stretches with a happy groan. Think the monsters use the massage chairs to relax when they're not fighting? Definitely. She laughs to herself. All those weird vertebrae need special massage expertise, I'm sure. So we chop them up. Let's go. Okay, so it doesn't really matter. You always get the point. Let's go for the challenge. I think one of the reasons why I had a little less to say about the story this time as well is, if you think about it, so we had the barbecue. We sort of talked with someone, and then, you know, we went on a few dates sort of in the halfway point of the broadcast, but we didn't actually really advance the story all that much, at least not compared to the first time that we played. That might be a structure of the game. It might be that they do want to make sure that you're really pushing the story forward in the opening moments, because it does seem like there's a clear point where we sort of separated from our cousin as a mentor. But I also think that we spent a lot of time sort of acquiring things. So, oh, wait a minute. I've got Rowan. We've got Rowan at level 0 still. All right. After Valeria, I might need to equip Rowan. But we've also been picking up more weapons, so... Man, we're doing well for bucks. done. I knew we could do it. Okay, so we've maxed with Valeria. Oh, so we don't have Rowan. Interesting. So Rowan's been introduced as a weapon, but not one that we can wield. Okay, cool. Again, I think we said we were going to save Isaac because they're the one I'm most comfortable with. I'm also the most leveled with, so that's going to be best for the harder levels. Hopefully Sunder will take us to the point where we can actually pursue the higher levels with Isaac. Also, that extra bleed damage should help. Oh, that's right. I think in the case of Sunder, usually you do the first... Yeah, so you do 1 to get in close and then 2... Okay, so you gotta do 3 lights. Okay. So I think it's a heavy to get in close, and then you just keep waving away. They're attacking. And again, I'm really bad at using my zines. I wouldn't mind a break. We had 1 fight. Sunder watches the waterfall, mesmerized. Would you like to offer a gift? Oddly enough, so... I think Sunder actually had a rose in his opening animation, but I don't think I can quite, square that circle in my head yet. Decide not to give it a gift for now. The sound of the water is almost musical. Not very good for dancing, though. More like trance. Think they have a music store? I guess those don't really exist anymore. The malls aren't as popular anymore either, and here we are. So anything's possible. Ah, well, let's keep going. That's ours now. We found it, so we keep it. See, it didn't do the lunge first. That's what happens. Nice. I wonder how much experience that was worth. Oh, really? Doesn't let me pick up the... Oh, cool. Apparently you can get it with the sword, though. I guess that makes sense. It's your companion. It's, So we use Sunder to get the hard-to-reach things. Yeah. Somebody tall to get the jars off the shelf. All right, the deeps. Run! I wanted to try and inflict bleed, but that didn't seem to happen. Let's try that again. I wonder why there's lily pads down here. I guess to suggest that the water hasn't been tended for a while. It's so peaceful. I can manage making out here. Theoretically.
Uh-huh.
Sure, I'll skate a bit. Want a race? Gonna warn you, I'm not bad. Let's chill. Did, you make a pun? Wow, I didn't know I had a crush on such a dork. Sunder skates beside you, sometimes turning backwards to watch you. Pretty good. It's always fun to see you in a new environment. Sunder smiles. Would you like to offer a gift? No. Decide not to give a gift right now. We're all warmed up for more monster fighting. Nice. All right. I think this will take me back down to this lower area. Yeah. That's a big room. Oof. I got a little greedy to try and get the bleed, but keep forgetting those cell phones don't run away. I think I see the telephones run away, and then all of a sudden the cell phones, I expect the same behavior, despite the fact the game has given me no indication that that's actually what they're doing. That would have been really embarrassing if I didn't heal in time. This is actually, I know most of this stuff is procedurally generated, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, I don't know that, but I believe most of this stuff's procedurally generated. This is a nasty little section. Like, I like how this is set up, because you've got these ranged enemies, like, coming after you from this platform. I wonder if it's made to be that way, or if that just happens to be a, a lucky break in terms of the way the level was set up. I'll admit my combo of like dash forward and get the 3 slashes in isn't really working for me right now. But I can try and bring it back. Yikes! Break time. Nothing like a massage to loosen up all those tight muscles. You both sit in the massage chairs and they begin to vibrate and knead your back. You relax into the massage. Too soon it's over. It looks like Sundar has fallen asleep. Have another massage. You enter round 2. The massage isn't quite as effective the second time, but there's no rush. When it's over, you see Sundar has woken up at long last. Sundar stretches like a cat and finally stands up. All right, ready to go. Would you like to offer a gift? No. You decide not to give a gift right now. Do we have another? Okay, it branches. So I'm probably going to have to head back. Man, that's a lot of projectiles. We have deep pockets, right? Okay, so that's the exit. We're going to head back to grab what we can. We might be able to equip Isaac next. Not 100%. Alright, that was a lot better than I thought it was going to go. I don't know if I'm learning or if I just got lucky. Ching. We're not done. Okay, so another 40 points. Let's hope we can make it. Ugh. Time for a little break? I don't know, Sundar, are you too cool for video games? Well, I loved pinball back in the day. Do they have the classic one? Ballyhoo? Doesn't look like it. Everyone forgets the best stuff. What do you want to play instead? Shoot, shoot, kill, kill? Dangerous Dancing Rhythm? Or Driving Mania? Oh, interesting. I wonder how I'll react to Driving Mania. Oh, yeah. I love these fake plastic cars. They're cozy, right? Let's go. I'll race you. You play for a while. Eventually, you run out of tokens. Let's give this a shot. Wait. Wasn't there something related to racing that I had? Am I losing my mind? Thunder Smirks. Good game. Sorry, for some reason... Oh, maybe it was something I could build, but I didn't actually build it. Dodge left! I mean right! Okay, hopefully that thing bleeds out. Doing well for fabric. Come on. Ugh. Oh, looks like there's something up there. There you are. Run! I think I'm gonna head back for a second because I get the impression if this branches off into two areas that... Oh, Jesus, there's a lot of spots I haven't checked out yet. A little indecisive. Let's see where this goes. I got caught on the... Jesus. Ah. Good Lord. Okay, so that wasn't like... that wouldn't have been a disaster if we missed out on it, but it is a chance for us to pick up some more loot. Let's see... Just gonna leave it because I may take some damage. We showed those monsters. Alright. Cool. So let's see if we can level up Isaac. Oh man, I just feel more powerful wielding Isaac. I don't think we've earned a little bit of rest. Let's... Eyes on the prize, Isaac. Come on. I do think it's kind of interesting that Isaac's the only one who talks about your fear. So I'm a little curious if maybe that's because he's the first character you meet. Isaac looks up at the sculpture thoughtfully. It's lovely. I often like to think of cats when I'm fencing. Such poise and grace, especially when they hunt. Perhaps you prefer dogs? Cats are the best.
Right.
It's easy to admire them, is it not? When they're not being cruel, at least. Independence and elegance are fine virtues indeed. He touches your hand and smiles. Shall we resume? I haven't quite got the combos down, as I'm sure you've noticed, but they work enough to keep the monsters at bay, I suppose. I'm gonna guess that that's probably a more elaborate section. Wait a minute, did I? Okay. I'm not paying attention. Well then. So this is a liability. I'm gonna pick these up like an idiot. Run for your lives! Jesus. I wonder how I avoid taking those hits. So you know who'd be good for this fight? Sunder. Because of that bonus you get for being surrounded. Oh man. Okay. Let's make the most of our healing. So maybe it's time-based? You've cleared the mall Dunj. A new plushie can be found in your apartment. Fear of change conquered. Oh man, I didn't even think of that. That's a really clever boss idea. The transformation into a butterfly. Man, okay. Like I said, I'm kind of thick, but yeah, no, that's a really neat idea. The chip polearm is a little unwieldy in your hands. As you touch it, it transforms. Why do I get the feeling we ran into this character before?
Hey, whoa, careful. Hi, I'm Sawyer. Sorry I'm a little long. I don't mean to be awkward to wield. Actually, I didn't mean to be down here at all. My memory's fuzzy, and my head hurts like crazy. I feel like something's missing. It's weird.
Your blade is cracked.
Huh. I guess I should go to the hospital and call my mom. Or my blacksmith. But all that has to wait because I'm late to history class. Oh, tardy. My professor's gonna dock me points for sure. But, maybe I could buy you lunch to say thanks. Here's my number. Bye for now.
They hurry away towards the exit. No harm in keeping this safe from the monsters. Summer dress and a sun hat. Dunge cleared. Okay, so there is a bottom. Cool. We're now level 22. We've maxed out all of our weapons, although we just met Sawyer. And we are done. So I wonder if it says the mall's been cleared, I wonder if that means that there is a... if there's another dungeon. You wake up to a tapping on your window. You see a white bird on your windowsill and open the window. The bird hops inside.
Pretty human.
Throne okay? Cocks his head. He's not sure he understands the question. Phone. You want my phone? The bird dips his head in agreement. Put the phone near him. Quicker than the eye can follow, he's poked a number into your contacts. The number looks familiar. You can't remember from where, though.
Nevermore.
He hops back out through the window and out into the sunlight. You're left alone with a mysterious number in your phone. Call it. Finally, I've been waiting. Oh man, the game forced the answer on me. I gotta see if I can figure that out on my own. Rowan? Of course it's me, Rowan. Come to my house when you have a moment. I have a use for you. They hang up. Ah, okay. So I would guess from the sizes here that there's 4 different dungeons. All right. We're getting our texts, and I am about 45 minutes past... oh, yep. New dungeon now. I'm about 45 minutes past my finish time, so I don't know how many people wanted to watch to the end. For those of you that have stayed to the end, thank you very much. Thank you very much for doing so, but I think this is not a bad place to call it. That is fine. Less than 1 minute. I think I can live with that. But as a reminder, this is Boyfriend Dungeon by Kit Fox Games, a Canadian developer. A developer I'm definitely quite fond of. I wonder what that... Oh, crap. Oh, neat. I think this is the GDPR. But yeah, I hope you guys liked... I hope you guys like this. Like, I'm fond of this game. I definitely feel like I engaged with it a little bit better last time. But I'm really looking forward to coming back to this. This will probably be the Friday game for the next little while. I don't believe it's all that long, so we should be able to wrap it up in good time. Not that I'm looking to rush it. And again, just as a reminder, Kit Fox Games is both a developer and a publisher of lots of really good indie titles. They have made, again, they did give me a key for this game, but they've done Moon Hunters, Shattered Planet, Lucifer Within Us, most recently Shrouded Isle, and most recently Boyfriend Dungeon. They have also published 6 Ages, Ride Like the Wind, and they will be publishing Paparazzi, I believe Mondo Museum is now on hold. I don't know if it's intended to be sort of picked up again. But they will also be publishing probably the most anticipated release, which is the Steam version of Dwarf Fortress. Well, I think it's called the Steam Edition. I don't know if it's going to go on other storefronts. But obviously, actually, for those of you that don't know, the captain of Kid Fox Games is co-edited 2 books on procedural generations with one of the Adamses. So, sorry, I insist on calling them that because it makes them sound like they're a spooky television family, but I probably should be a little more respectful than that. But yeah, lots of interesting stuff happening from that developer, and Boyfriend Dungeon is only the most recent of them. Let me just take a quick second here. I do like that the music plays while I'm looking for a new stream. Let's see who's still live and see if we can pass on the good feelings to some other people. Hey, IntelliGame is still streaming. So look, as much as I would love to host Night Valian, I was talking about IntelliGame. I think it would be great to pass on some love. The other reason for that is he's currently playing Jackbox, which I think for a few of you, you might really like. Sorry, I just got to make sure I get the name right. IntelliGame. But yeah, so for some of you, you'll really like the interactivity of the Jackbox games. IntelliGame's definitely quite a talented caster, somebody who's great to hang out with. For those of you who don't care for Jackbox, I can make a few recommendations. First of all, you can click on Boyfriend Dungeon down below and check out some other Boyfriend Dungeon streams. In addition, Night Valian is currently playing Scarlet Nexus, and Ponce is playing Warhammer 2. So a couple of great streamers who are online. But I'm going to leave you all with IntelliGame. I hope you have a great night, and I will see you all on Monday for some Stellaris. Until then.